Ronin Audiobooks presents Rock Star Rising.
A cold, ground-clinging fog rolled through the dark cemetery, licking the forgotten names carved in marble. It seemed to slow and linger on the tombstone that bore a single name. A name not forgotten at all. The fog seemed to conjure up 5 bony fingers that caressed the 5 letters carved large and deep. All who watched the scene knew that the man who slumbered beneath that 5-letter name was not in heaven. No, for sure he was in hell. That is, if he slumbered at all. Many of the hundreds of onlookers this Halloween night thought he was still alive, with only an empty coffin buried below that cold marker. But they came anyway. Many in the crowd thought him dead for sure, but they came anyway. Most thought his promised resurrection at midnight was just a bunch of BS publicity. But they came.
I see it!
Let me see. Give me the binoculars. Yeah, that's it. I'll be damned. That Shane's great. Come on, Shane, you son of a bitch. It's almost midnight. Get the hell up.
This is Steve Landers here at the Memory Garden Cemetery in Carson, just south of Los Angeles. MTV is here on this Halloween night because of rumors spreading amongst diehard Shane fans that tonight, on the 21st anniversary of his death, Shane will rise from his grave at midnight. To do what? I don't know. But whatever he does in front of these hundreds of fans, MTV is here to cover it for you. This portion of the cemetery where his grave is located directly behind me just up the hill has been roped off by security. But who knows what this crazy crowd will do as we're 10 minutes away from midnight. As you know, since Shane's mysterious death, rumors have been flying around that the rock star is still alive. However, all the people that were associated with Shane say that he's dead and gone.
About 50 yards away from the MTV announcer stood a heavy-set, white-haired man in his 50s, dressed in a 3-piece brown suit. He was standing next to the security rope with his eyes glued on Shane's headstone up the hill. Looking around at the crowd with a half-smile, he checked his Rolex. It was 4 minutes till midnight. From out of the crowd, a tall young woman with long brown hair held in a ponytail approached him.
Hi, I'm Nancy Carter from Music Scene magazine. You're Shane's agent, right?
I was.
Well, look, sure, I know Shane's dead, but you still handle his merchandising, right?
Yes, I do, my dear.
Well then, what do you have planned for us tonight?
I don't have anything planned.
Nothing planned?
That's right.
Oh, come on. You can level with me. Look, there are loudspeakers set up in the trees, and there are a couple of guys up there that are doing a great job with the fog machines, but are terrible about staying hidden. Look, everyone knows this thing has been planned out, just like the rumors that the radio stations have been spreading. So why don't you just come clean? I know you're doing this to keep Shane's old record selling, and my article will do just that for you.
Look, what was your name again?
Nancy Carter, Music Scene magazine.
Look, Nancy, I don't know where or who started these rumors. I heard them this month just like you. And when I heard there was a crowd gathering as early as 8 o'clock, I decided to drive down here and check it out. That's all.
And what about the speakers and the fog machines?
How should I know? There's a lot of media and fans here. Look, are you going to hold me responsible for every Halloween prank that happens in the city tonight?
What about all the security, eh? Who arranged that?
I don't know. Ask them.
Look, okay, then just answer the big question.
If I can.
Is Shane alive?
I like your style, Nancy. There have been a lot of sightings, but that's just because there are so many Shane impersonators walking around. And another thing, everyone here tonight must think that Shane's dead, or why else would they come to where I buried him?
So why did you bury him in this god-awful place, instead of a swank cemetery like Forest Lawn?
I buried him here precisely because it is a god-awful place. It fits his image. Besides, if I had buried him at Forest Lawn, the ground would have spit him out.
Hey, that's good. I'll use that.
Be my guest. You know, all of this kind of stuff, the way it's all...
The cemetery lights that lined the driveway went out, causing the girls in the crowd to scream, with the boys joining in with mock screams of their own. A spotlight from behind the hill shot out, its green-filtered shaft backlighting Shane's grave. Slowly, a hand arose from behind the headstone with its bony fingers spread, breaking up the spotlight into separate green shafts. The hand rose to reveal an arm, clothed in thin white material, which went transparent in the backlight. Then the dark outline of a body rose to full height with unearthly pained movements. Now both arms were stretched out as high as was mortally possible, reaching for the moonless sky. The black-green silhouetted figure stood motionless behind the grave, as if posing for an album cover. The crowd began going wild, jumping, cheering, screaming, yelling. Then they started pushing through the ropes, knocking down the security men who felt like surfers wiping out and being covered by a wave. Only this was a human wave, an unearthly wave that flowed uphill with continuous force, demanding a closer look at their long-dead idol. Their idol, who had somehow resurrected himself and pushed through the ground to escape his confinement in hell. When the dark, undead figure of Shane saw the mass of wild humanity approaching, it turned and ran, heading for the woods behind the cemetery. The crowd gave hot pursuit, but the figure, with the devil's own speed, outdistanced itself from its pursuers and soon was lost in the trees and the darkness. Alan Bartlett. He'd just finished his second revolution around the record-shaped casino of the Las Vegas Hard Rock Hotel. It was 2 a.m., but he felt wired, like he had 10 cups of coffee in him. Las Vegas did that to him. Not to mention his new Puerto Rican-born girlfriend, Connie, who was flaked out upstairs in his suite. He had left her sleeping, cuddled up in the fetal position, hardly taking up any room at all in their oversized bed. He had noticed the satisfied smirk on her sleeping face as he got dressed to go down to the casino. And why shouldn't she be satisfied? In one day and night he had wined her and dined her, Colorado River rafted her, gambled her, Siegfried Royed her, and finally multiple orgasmed her. She had never been treated so well, Alan figured. It had only been 5 months since Alan had attended a series of success seminars. Now here he was in Las Vegas, 15 pounds lighter, new car, new luxury condo, new clothes, a higher position at his company, and the damnedest, hottest new girlfriend any man ever had. He now had everything a 33-year-old could want, as he sat down at the bar and ordered a tequila sunrise. He slipped a 20 in the video poker machine, embedded in the bar top, and by the time his drink came, Alan had hit a full house and a flush, moving his credits up to 34. To the side of him, a pretty woman in her early 40s approached the bar. Still engrossed in his video poker, Alan failed to notice her checking him out. She slowly took a seat next to him and waved to the bartender.
Give me a highball, will you? Looks like you're doing pretty good.
Oh? Oh, hi. Yeah, not bad. I mean, I started with a 20. You playing?
Oh, no, just drinking.
Ah, can I buy you a drink?
That's okay. I've got one coming.
So, what's keeping you up so late tonight?
Well, this is Vegas, baby, and besides, I'm still wired from my show.
Oh, you're in a show, huh? What show's that?
Can't you guess?
Well, I guess maybe the Splash Show.
Why do you think that?
Yeah, because you're tall, beautiful, so that's my guess.
Honey, they want 'em young for that show. And besides, the Late Show is topless.
Oh, I'd buy a ticket for that.
Oh, would you?
Oh, I mean, I didn't mean, to see you. I mean,
Yeah, I know what you meant. Oh, Jesus, wait.
What happened?
You had a possible flush and you didn't hold the 4 cards.
Oh,
Oh, hell, too bad.
yeah. Unlucky at cards.
Lucky at love.
Yeah, that's what they say.
So you really don't recognize me?
No, I'm sorry, I don't.
My photo is all around the casino. It's right over there.
Oh, I see now. I'm sorry. I never followed music much. My older brother did. He would have known you.
But you heard of Shane, haven't you?
Oh, yeah, who hasn't? Like that thing a few weeks ago.
Where he rose from the grave on Halloween night?
Yeah, that was wild.
That was bullshit.
Yeah, I guess.
Anyway, I sang back up with Shane in the old days, in the 70s, 20 years ago. My stage name was Medusa, and I legally changed my name to that.
You mean like the snakes in the hair, Medusa?
Oh, you know your mythology. And you are?
Alan.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Yeah, same here. So, how did your show go tonight?
Oh, it was pretty cool. We rocked out pretty good. The old Shane fans dug it. I never had a single on my own, so I can't draw a big crowd. Shane promised me a single, but it never happened. He wasn't big on keeping his promises.
Whoops. There goes my $20. Well, I guess it's my unlucky night.
Unlucky at cards, perhaps.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But then that leaves the other.
I don't follow you.
The hell you don't.
I'm not quite sure what you mean.
Well, I was supposed to meet my drummer here after the show, but it looks like he stood me up. He probably hooked up with a younger chick. Oh well. It's hard for a 42-year-old woman to compete with screaming 20-year-old girls. His loss, though.
Yeah, that's show business, I guess.
So how about it? Come up to my room for a drink? What do you say? See what happens? I'm so wired from my show that sleep is not going to come naturally.
Well, wow. Is this what Medusa does? I mean, she lures men up to her room at the Hard Rock and then she turns them into stone?
Nothing wrong with turning you into stone.
Yeah, look, this has never happened exactly like this to me before. I mean, I'm not exactly, this type.
This is Vegas. So, take a chance. Something for you to write in your diary.
I don't have a diary or a journal, but hey, maybe I should get one, huh? I mean, I did plan to be a novelist when I was in college.
Well, come on. This will make a great first chapter for you.
Yeah, if I survive it.
Well, that's the chance you take, because with Medusa, there was and is always the possibility of death.
Alan felt both excitement and apprehension as he entered Medusa's suite. She immediately went over to the CD player and put on some opera music, as Alan opened the sliding glass door that led to the balcony.
Hey, this is cool. That's nice.
What?
Oh, you got a view of the artificial beach, just like me.
Oh, screw the beach.
Yeah, screw the beach. You being a rock singer, I'm surprised you like opera.
I don't. But with the balcony door open, we need the opera singer to cover up my singing.
Ah, gotcha.
Not yet, you don't.
In her room, Connie was awakened by the sound of a woman's operatic voice. And just beneath that, another woman's operatic screams. She sleepily got up, walked to her balcony door, closed it, and went back to bed. 3 hours later, Alan returned to his room quietly, hoping that Connie would still be sleeping.
Oh, there you are. How did you do?
What? I hit a few small jackpots, but I put it all back into the machines.
Well, the next best thing to playing and winning.
Yeah. It's playing and losing.
Yeah, that's what the losers say. Anyway, I'm really glad you're back. Really glad. After all, I'm the one that owes you. Owes you a thrill-packed ending.
Ending?
Yeah. I fell asleep before I could finish you off.
Oh, yeah, but tomorrow's better. I'm kind of beat, tired. Well, the smoke in the casino really did me in.
Oh. Sorry to hear that.
You may be sorry, but I'm dead.
Well, you'd better be careful.
About what?
My brother said that gambling can ruin a man.
That was a smoke, not the gambling that ruined me. Hey, let's talk in the morning, huh, baby? Good night.
Good night, Nick the Greek.
Good night, Sleeping Beauty.
That's nice.
The next morning, Alan and Connie hit Highway 15 back to Santa Maria, California, 5 hours ahead. Alan was relaxed, with Connie sitting next to him in his new Mercury Cougar. She hadn't asked any more questions about where he'd been the night before, so everything was cool. Except perhaps for Connie's slight irritation that they woke up just before checkout time, and she didn't get any morning sack time, as she liked to put it. As they crossed over the Nevada state line, the flatlands turned upward toward the East Mojave Mountains. Seeing the desert mountains on each side of him, Alan shook his head slightly, as if trying to shake off a bad dream. Connie noticed he was troubled.
What's wrong?
Nothing.
It didn't look like nothing.
These mountains give me the creeps, that's all.
Well, we can't have that. Let's get something good on the radio to cheer you up. Oh, I love this song. It makes me hot.
I thought the song was supposed to cheer me up, not make you hot.
First one thing and then the other. Just trust me.
Yeah, just keep your seatbelt on.
Don't worry about it. Just drive.
Connie pushed the sunroof button, and it slid back, letting in a loud rush of air. She quickly kicked off her shoes and stood up through the roof opening. Alan failed to hear the sound of silk sliding down her bare legs, but he saw the white silk as it hit Connie's ankles. She widened her stance, inviting Alan's attention. Steering with one hand, Alan obliged her as she sang along with the radio, hitting high-pitched notes that the singer on the radio could have never hit. Finally, she became like a siren atop a speeding police car. A few nights later, Alan drove over to Connie's apartment for their usual midweek date. However, as he drove down the main street of Santa Maria, his mind kept going over his hard rock night with Medusa. Wasn't once with her enough, he asked himself? The answer came back no. He wanted to experience Medusa again. His girl Connie was wild and free for sure. But alas, now number two, since Medusa had worked her magic on him that night. So much so that his night with Medusa got more mental plays in his head than Connie's Highway 15 sunroof performance. He pushed Medusa's image out of his mind as Connie opened the door to her apartment.
Hi. You're early.
Yeah, couldn't wait to see you. You ready to go?
Yeah, sure. But my brother is up from LA and I want you to meet him.
Oh, okay. Of course.
Unprepared, Alan reluctantly walked in. He wasn't exactly anxious to meet the competitor for LA's next Puerto Rican godfather. Inside, he saw sitting at her kitchen table a 35-year-old extremely handsome Puerto Rican man, decked out in a suit and jewelry that would have embarrassed Sammy Davis, Jr.
So, Consuelo, this is the guy you've been banging, huh?
Come off it, Reynaldo. Stop trying to make an impression. Don't listen to him, Alan. He's always trying to get one up on white boys.
Ah, the hell I do. I don't need to do that.
Alan, this is my brother Reynaldo.
Ah, nice to meet you.
Yeah. So, tell me, what's so good about banging my sister?
What? Hey, look, I mean, tonight we just plan to see a movie, okay? I mean, if it ever happens, I'll be sure to give you a report.
Yeah, sure you will.
You boys play nice while I take care of a few things, all right? I'll be right back.
So, Connie tells me that you live in L.A.
Yeah. Marina Del Rey.
Ah, nice place.
Yeah, lots of fresh air.
So, how was the drive up?
Good. People always make way for Ferrari. I just shot up here to do a little business with a guy I know in town and lay a little bread on Consuelo.
Ah. Oh, what kind of business are you doing up here?
Well, it's a kind of delivery service.
Oh, I see.
Yeah? Yeah, you see what?
Huh? Oh, nothing. I mean, I just, see.
Ah, okay. So, Consuelo's been telling me a lot about you. I think maybe it's good that she's got you, so just take good care of her, okay? Keep her happy. Think of it as a special favor to me.
Oh, I will.
Hey, Consuelo! Stop powdering your butt and get out here.
Try as he could, when Medusa and her band played at a nightclub in nearby Santa Barbara, Alan couldn't resist going. He sent her flowers before the show with a note that read, "Break a leg from your hard rock lover." When the show started in the small club, Alan took a seat in the back. Medusa put on a good show. Alan was surprised that she had the voice and the confidence to hold the audience's attention for the full hour set. She did mostly Shane rock oldies, but sounded good in the two ballads she sang.
You said the whole affair was over. Promised to never see her again. But
When the show ended and the club started emptying out, he made his way over to where Medusa was signing her last-minute autographs as the band members loaded their van.
Hey, great show, Medusa.
Yeah, thank you.
Did you get the flowers I sent back to you?
I'm sorry, I got a few. Which were yours?
Oh, sorry. I thought you'd remember.
Hey, come on, Medusa. We're ready to roll.
Yeah, almost ready. I'm sorry, do I know you?
Yeah, we met a few months ago in Las Vegas.
Oh, at the show? I'm sorry, I don't remember your name.
It's Alan Bartlett.
Well, Alan, thanks for coming to tonight's show, too.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I've got to catch my ride back to L.A.
Hey, listen, I'm driving to L.A. myself tonight. I mean, so if your ride's overcrowded, I'm all by myself, and I'd like the company.
Yeah? What kind of car do you have?
It's a Cougar, Mercury Cougar. It's clean. It's got a sunroof, fresh air, You can lean back in your seat, relax, and hey, look at the stars.
How's your driving record?
It's clean, like my health. And I'll drop you off anywhere you want to go.
I think I do remember you.
You ought to.
Oh, I should I? Were you that interesting?
Well, we were that interesting.
Oh, yeah? Prove it.
On the way to Los Angeles, Alan and Medusa talked about the music business for a while. And then Medusa tilted her seat back and fell asleep. Alan drove with his thoughts on what might happen once they reached the city with his hard rock conquest. Upon arriving at the San Diego Freeway Junction, he shook her, gently. She woke up slightly startled.
What the hell?
Well, good morning. Hey, where in L.A. do you live?
What?
We're here in L.A. now, huh? The 405's coming up. I mean, where should I take you? 405 or 101?
Go down to 405. I'm in Westwood.
Okay, got it.
Where do you live?
Well, actually, I plan to hotel it tonight.
What? Why's that?
Well, it's Friday, and I think I'm due for a change of pace. Maybe I'll go to Santa Monica. Maybe the Miramar, or Lowe's Hotel, or the beach, you know.
You stay in Santa Monica often?
Not often enough.
Where do you live in L.A.?
Actually, I live back up there in Santa Maria.
I thought you said you lived in L.A.
I said I was driving to L.A.
Well, the beach should be fine for you tomorrow.
Do you like cycling?
Sometimes I use the stationary ones at my gym.
Well, look, if you'd like to go cycling with me tomorrow, I'd like to have the company. And for that matter, if you'd like to get a late snack at my hotel, you're welcome to join me.
Uh-huh. Room service?
Yeah, if you like.
The Miramar, huh?
Or Lowe's.
Ocean view room?
It's the only type I get.
You go there often?
Starting tonight, hopefully.
For the third time that night, Medusa imploded under Alan. He watched and listened as if hypnotized, momentarily turning his attention from her to gaze out the window at the Ferris wheel on the pier. Alan thought, is this the only reason I pursued this woman? There must be something more to it than that. But no answer came back to him. He looked back at her as she gasped for air like a newly caught fish laid out on the deck of a boat. The night continued like a dream for Alan until exhausted they both blacked out. The next morning, fresh ocean air entered the room from the open balcony door as Alan and Medusa ate their room service breakfast. They were dressed in white robes supplied by the hotel, making them look more like honeymooners than one-night standers.
So how long do you plan to stay here?
Just till tomorrow, then it's back to work on Monday.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm a computer programmer. Team leader now, actually. I manage a group of 20 programmers.
That sounds all right.
It ain't rock and roll.
Everybody wants to be a rock star.
Actually, in college, I wanted to become a writer.
Everybody wants to be a writer.
Yeah, but, I was serious about it. I studied it in college and worked for a newspaper in Denver for a while.
What happened?
Life is what happened. I had to make some more money, so I quit and I got a better paying job. But it would have been great to write at least one novel, just one Moby Dick or one Crime and Punishment.
Well, come to think of it, I've always had a hidden desire to write a book myself. I've had an idea in my mind for a long time.
Oh, yeah? What's your idea?
I don't want to say. Let's hit the pier while it's early, before all the jerks come out.
The pier was almost devoid of people as Alan and Medusa slowly walked it, save for a few early morning fishermen. The sun was rising from behind them, giving everything a pink filter to it.
So, tell me about your book idea. I really do want to know because writing's something that I'm interested in. Still interested in, I should say.
Wow. You really never give up on anything, whether it's my tale or my book idea.
No, I never give up on anything. At least recently, I don't.
Well, naturally, it would be about the time I was in Shane's band. My life with him and the rock scene then. Of course, there's been books on him, but mostly kiss and tell. Nothing that really captures what was going on with them. Nothing by someone who was really inside.
Hasn't anyone, one of his band members written something?
Some of them planned to write something, but were scared off or bought off or knocked off.
Killed?
Just an expression, but OD'd, yes.
Do you have enough material to fill a book?
Are you kidding? I remember enough stuff to fill 10 books. Songs he stole, dirty deals his agent did, all the stuff that happened on his bus, which was just a portable whorehouse for Shane. Like this time when he took us in his bus to Las Vegas to see Elvis at the International. We get to Vegas and get this 4 or 5 room suite, and he gets some of his boys to pick up a shitload of women and bring them up to the room. Well, I'm not one for gangbangs, but anyway, it gets out of hand, and this one older housewife wants to leave, and Shane starts slapping her around because she wouldn't do some god-awful thing in front of the group, and he knocks her out. So Shane gets scared and says, "Let's get the hell out of here." So we just leave that housewife lying there in the room, and everyone piles back into the bus, and we drive off for L.A. And it didn't end there. It got worse on the way back. Well, anyway, God, I haven't been out this early in the morning in ages. This ocean, yeah, it seems to connect us with everything in the world.
Yeah, it seems like. Whenever I find myself bringing up the rear of every funeral I meet, I count it high time to get to sea.
Thank you, Captain Ahab.
Ishmael, actually.
You and that dick.
Moby, actually. Moby Dick.
Back in their room, Alan and Medusa picked over what was left of the room service breakfast while drinking their coffee. The fresh ocean air from their walk on the pier had enlivened Medusa. She now ate, drank, and chatted with gusto.
This is great. I feel like I'm on a first-class gig. Thanks for ordering all of this.
My pleasure.
Yeah, it's been my pleasure, too.
So speaking of gigs, you said before that the drive back from Las Vegas was even worse?
Well, that wasn't a gig. That was just a trip to see Elvis, like I said. But anyway, just to tell you what I put in my book, if I wrote one, that is. I continue the story about how we were driving back from Vegas that night and everyone's partying and getting crazy. And Shane notices this kid, maybe he was 19 or 20, on the bus and starts picking on him and jabs a needle full of heroin into his arm, then kicks him off the bus in the middle of the desert.
You were there and actually saw that?
Yeah, sure. But that's just when things really got started. 'Cause there's this square type of chick, another housewife, I think, who's there for some thrill or something, and Shane drags her off into his private bedroom that he has on the bus. And we can hear her screaming all the way back to L.A. And I'm not talking about orgasm here. Anyway, she turns out to be a doctor's wife. Well, doctors have lawyers, so the police start coming around asking questions a few days later. So then Shane takes off for Hawaii, leaving the rest of us to take the heat and have to answer all kinds of questions. Anyway, that housewife got paid off or something, 'cause that finally blew over too. And then when Shane came back, more stuff happened. Damn, it's like that Elvis night never ended. And with all that, we never did get to see Elvis either.
Jesus. I can't believe it.
Oh, hey, man, I didn't mean to bum you out on such a beautiful morning. You okay?
You're right. That night never ended.
For sure. Anyway, like I said, I've got enough stories on Shane to make him uncomfortable for the rest of his life.
The rest of his life?
Yeah, sure, and he deserves it.
What do you mean? I mean, you're talking like he's alive.
Oh, that's just my way of talking.
No. You said the rest of his life, like he's alive.
I meant like, the dead are still with us. And he'll know if I write about them.
Well, when do you figure on writing that book?
Oh, someday. Like they say, everyone should plant a tree, write a book, have a baby. And I've already had a baby.
Really? Well, where's the child now?
Say, listen. Sounds like some people outside are starting to have some fun in the sun. So, what about that bike ride down the beach?
Sure, just let me take a quick shower, huh?
Yeah, sure, okay.
In the steaming hot shower, Alan tried to wash away the stench of Medusa's story by soaping himself twice. But the poison images that she had brewed had already gotten under his skin. When he got out of the shower, he found that he was alone in his room, left with the bill to pay, a long drive home, and a Puerto Rican girlfriend that he now had no interest in whatsoever. After checking out of the hotel, Alan drove the 3 hours back to Santa Maria in a daze. Before going home, he made a stop at the library, and for hours he pored over old news magazines that had articles on Shane's death. He then stopped by a Radio Shack and purchased a cassette tape recorder. As soon as arriving home, Alan lay down on his sofa, recorder in hand, and pushed the record button. With just a moment's hesitation, he began reciting what he hoped would be the beginning of an important book. Important for him, at least.
Having little or no experience as a novelist at the age of 33, I have decided to embark on a journey of investigative reporting that may lead to a fruitless end or even to my own end. 6 months ago, I decided to enhance my dull life as a couch potato computer programmer. See, I took some success seminars that upgraded my lifestyle. Ultimately, it led me to Las Vegas, where I chanced upon a one-night stand with a 42-year-old rock singer. That left me hungry for more of her. In my excitement to continue with that woman, I went to a Santa Barbara nightclub where she was performing, in hopes of meeting her again, being with her again. And it was that second meeting that changed me from success-crazy, self-involved person to a more... Yes, hello?
Hello yourself, stranger.
Oh, hi, Connie. What's cooking?
I was just wondering if you'd like to stop by and bring some strawberry shortcake with you. I've already got the whipped cream and everything. What do you say?
Ah, it sounds nice, Connie.
But...
Well, it's just that I'm heavily involved with something right now.
it's not another woman, is it?
Oh, you know it isn't.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. But I was wondering when we were going to get together besides for lunch at work. I mean, it's been 6 or 7 days. And nights.
Yeah, that's unusual for us, I know, but... it's just that I've been just extra busy at work, and I have to catch up on some things at home. You know how it is.
Well, I'm not sure I know how it is. How is it with you, Alan?
Well, it's just that, well... Look, I've been a bit unorganized. A lot on my mind, you know. My place is a mess.
If it's your cleaning, I'd be glad to come over and give you a hand. It would be an easy job for me.
Yeah? Well, that's an interesting offer, but I don't know about right now.
I can pick up the strawberry shortcake on the way over.
Strawberry shortcake. Yeah, I guess that'll be good. I mean, we haven't done that in a while.
Yeah, a long while, it seems. And I know you like games.
I thought it was you that liked games.
Yeah, maybe it was me that likes them. So how about it?
Oh, sounds all right. Yeah, sounds good.
Great. I'll be over right away, okay?
Yeah, okay.
Even though Alan's rudimentary servicing of Connie was a third of his usual duration, she once again needed to be pinned to the bed for safety until her convulsions subsided. After she caught her breath, she turned over and looked at Alan.
It's nice to be with you again. I was worried.
About what?
I thought you didn't love me anymore.
Oh, nothing's changed.
But why are you being so distant with me?
You call this being distant?
At work? On the phone? And yeah, even now in bed.
Hey, I'm sorry. I guess I've just been preoccupied.
Preoccupied with what?
Well, yeah, maybe I shouldn't tell you.
Whatever it is, Alan, please tell me everything. Anything, I'm here for you.
Okay, it's like this. It all began on our last trip to Vegas. I met this guy at the bar he was doing a show at the Hard Rock, a guitar player. Anyway, we got to talking about music, and it turns out that he used to sing in a band with an old rock singer about 20 years ago, in the 70s. His name was Shane. Have you heard of him?
Yeah, of course. Don't you know we got radios in Puerto Rico? And oldie stations, too.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, so the things that this guitar player said, things like sometimes talking about Shane in the present, stuff like that makes me think that Shane may still be alive. You know, like lots of people say.
Hey, yo, that's just fans talking. They also say that Elvis Presley and Jim Morrison are alive.
Yeah, but this guy wasn't a fan. I mean, this was a professional musician who was talking about the business. I mean, I didn't press him, you know. I just listened to what he was saying, but he gave me this creepy feeling that maybe Shane faked his own death and is still alive somewhere. And I've been doing research on his death, his supposed death. And I found more holes in his death than ones in the lone gunman's theory on Kennedy's assassination.
Oh, Jesus. You're not going to turn into one of those conspiracy nuts, are you?
Hey, give me a break, will you? I'm approaching this in a professional manner.
That's exactly what conspiracy nuts say.
Look. When I was in college, I was a literature major and then worked for a newspaper and planned to write a novel. Along the way, I lost sight of that. But now I've changed. I've already started a nonfiction novel about my search for Shane, and I intend to find that mother.
To be what? Rich? Famous? Get girls?
To be at peace. A writer at peace with himself.
Okay, Mr. Ernest Big Deal Hemingway.
I prefer Melville.
Smellville! Where does that leave us while you're off chasing some dead rock star?
On hold.
Oh, you freaking prick! You can hold this. Who do you think that you're dumping? Some quick piece of Puerto Rican sale that you acquired a short-term taste for?
I didn't say anything about dumping you. There's just this thing that I gotta do, and until then, I'll be busy, that's all.
And what am I supposed to do while you're off doing this stupid thing? You stupid pendeja Michael asshole!
Alan realized that this was a good opportunity to completely blow off Connie and get her out of his life so that he could get on with his life. However, wanting to avoid a scene in his own apartment that might get too sticky to handle, especially considering her pseudo-gangster brother, Alan decided that with both their adrenaline pumping, it would be easy enough to placate her using a tried and tested fantasy that she had submitted to a few times in the past weeks.
Don't you ever talk to me like that again, you little bitch.
Oh, no. No more of that mucky Deschade game playing, you lowlife.
Get the hell back in bed.
No, we aren't doing this. Twice before was quite enough.
Shut up, Connie, and do what I say.
God damn you, Alan.
Stop talking, you little bitch. Get back in bed.
Yes, sir.
And don't move.
Yes, sir.
In her apartment, Medusa lowered her CD player and set down her coffee before picking up the ringing phone.
Hello?
Hi, Medusa. Carl Jessup here. How'd it go?
How did what go?
The concert.
The Santa Barbara concert?
Yeah, did it come off okay?
That was a month ago. But hey, thanks for asking.
Time flies, as they say.
Yeah, I'm learning that.
Look, there's an opportunity that's come up. Some fly-by-night producer wants to record a couple songs with you. He says maybe a music video, too. He wants to make it on the cheap.
So who is he?
He's nobody. Never done anything in the business. I think he's just dreaming.
Too bad. So just forget it.
No. Whoa. I told him no dough, no blow. But if he was serious, he'd have to put up 10 grand before he could meet you and talk over the project.
I bet that stopped him.
No, he showed up in my office yesterday with a cashier's check. I've got the money in hand, otherwise I never would have bothered you. All you have to do is meet him, talk about the project, and the rest is up to him. If he has production money, then you'll record. If not, you keep the 10 grand less my commission. Just don't talk about money with him. That's my job. So where's a good place for you to meet him? You know, public place where you'll be safe.
Oh, I don't know. Let's see. Westwood is convenient for me. The Knighthood on Weyburn should be okay. But if this guy is a nutcase, I'm gonna be pretty well pissed at you.
Just let him get his rocks off talking to you for a few hours and collect the 10 grand guilt-free.
Medusa arrived at the restaurant 20 minutes before the appointed time and got a window seat. The would-be music producer arrived, on time too, and recognizing Medusa, approached her table. He introduced himself as Jim Starbuck and sat down. She figured him to be in his late 30s, and perhaps bald, judging from the cheap wig he was wearing. Without it, and without the thick black-rimmed glasses, he might even be good-looking. But definitely the mustache had to go. It didn't help his appearance either. However, and most importantly, he didn't look dangerous.
So your name is Starluck, like a lucky movie star?
No, but that's close. My name is Starbuck.
You mean like the coffee?
I prefer to be compared with the first mate on the Pequod.
Pequod? What the hell is that?
I think you're messing with me, but that's all right. I think you know that the Pequod is...
The ship in Moby Dick, I know. Well, let's get to what the job is without any more amenities.
I like your style, Medusa. That's one of the reasons that I want to record something with you. And maybe do a music video as well.
Music videos are expensive. So is recording, for that matter.
What? Oh, you don't think I've got the money?
Well, if you can risk 10 grand without having heard me sing before, then I guess you have the money. You know, I never cut a record solo, just back up with Shane and the girls.
Yeah, but I've heard you sing.
Where?
Oh, I cut your act once.
With Shane?
Oh, no, not with Shane. Vegas, I think it was. Yeah, it was Vegas.
And Santa Barbara, too? Maybe you heard me sing there.
Oh, no, not Santa Barbara.
Oh, no? Not Santa Barbara, my ass. What kind of stupid slut did you think I was, huh? You think that I was gonna bang a guy a couple of times and that he'll get lost in the crowd a couple of weeks later? That I'm not gonna recognize him when he puts on a cheap wig, mustache, and glasses? You better work on your acting, 'cause that stupid voice of yours ain't making it, Mr. Allen. Whatever the hell it is.
Alan Bartlett.
You guys really kill me, you know? You get a taste of it and you track a girl down like a bloodhound.
Hey, no, it's not like that.
Are you telling me you're not here for seconds? Or is it thirds?
Look, if I were after you for that, it would probably be fifth. But that's not why I found out who your agent was and paid $10,000 down on a recording session. That's not going to happen just to find you.
You should have used the phone book.
There's no listing for Medusa, seducer of men at the Hard Rock.
Hey, I was horny that night, so what? And no one dragged you to my room?
I don't know about that.
Oh, God. Let's get the hell out of here. You look ridiculous in that getup, and I've got a reputation around here as not being seen with jerks.
Outside the restaurant, Alan had to walk fast to keep up with Medusa. Walk fast and think fast.
Why don't you take that ridiculous disguise off? Oh, Jesus, wait. Not here. I gotta live around here. Better to be seen with a geek than a weirdo taking off his hair.
I'm not finished talking to you. Your agent said you'd give me a few hours.
You know you won't get your 10 grand returned.
I told you I'm not here for that. I'm here for you.
Can't get enough of me, huh?
I want you to tell me more about Shane.
What? Why? What for?
Well, it's about a book I'm writing.
Oh, God. I don't believe it. What the hell are you doing that for? You don't know anything about him.
Well, maybe I don't, but I'm going to learn about him. And I'm going to...
Not here. Save it for my place. Come on, hurry up.
Medusa's apartment was a mess, but she didn't care. She needed to hear about Alan's plans to write a book about Shane. And more importantly, what he planned to write about her.
Now take off that wig and mustache, will ya?
Sure. Okay. Is that better?
Yeah, but not by much. I'm just glad to be off the street with you looking like... Jesus, I don't know what. Sit down, but don't make yourself comfortable.
Well, you've got a convenient place here, right in the middle of Westwood.
Yeah, convenient and cheap. That's how I've managed to survive as a freelancer for all these years. But you're here for us to talk about this book thing of yours, and that's all. First of all, just forget about anything I may have told you about the old days. You can't use me as a source.
Why not?
Because Shane's old agent is still my agent. He gets me gigs now and again, and I can't afford for him to get pissed off at me. And he will if you quote me in a book.
Is he alive?
What?
Is Shane alive?
Oh my God, what is this? All you fans think he's alive.
Look, I'm no fan of Shane's, okay? But I know he's alive from the things you said. I mean, in Vegas that night and at the hotel in Santa Monica, I know he's alive. He has to be.
Why does he have to be?
Alan sat there silently, as if contemplating words and actions of great importance, contemplating a decision he wasn't sure of. Medusa could see that on his face, and she remained silent. Alan reached into his back pocket and pulled out his wallet. From inside, he pulled out a small photograph, and he handed it to Medusa.
What's this? Who is he?
Ever seen him before?
No, I haven't.
You sure you don't recognize him?
No. Should I?
Say about 20 years ago?
20 years ago. No, I don't know him.
He's the boy that Shane threw out of that bus coming back from Las Vegas. The bus that you were on.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that time Shane took you all out to see Elvis?
Jesus.
The one that Shane pumped full of heroin?
No, it's not possible.
The one you told me about at Lowe's Hotel? He's my older brother, Jimmy.
I told you about some kid. I told you about a lot of people that were on that bus. I don't remember his face. That was years ago. What makes you think that that was your brother?
Jimmy was found dead, full of heroin, on the same stretch of the road. At the same time Elvis was performing, the same year, the same boy.
That's what this is all about? You want to find Shane alive so you can turn him over to the cops? Or, oh no, you want to kill him, don't you? To avenge your brother?
That, and the fact that he represents all the evil in the world.
What?
Just like Moby friggin' Dick.
Okay, you're crazy. You're just crazy.
Yeah, they said that about H.G. Wells, Jules Verne.
And they say that about a lot of crazy people, too.
Whether it was anger, frustration, or passion, Alan didn't know. But in a flash, he had bridged the distance between himself and Medusa and began kissing her.
Stop it, Alan. You think you can just take me to bed, fill me with truth serum, and make me tell you something? Gonna give you Shane's phone number in hell so you can go there and kill him?
I will kill him.
Because why?
Because he tasks me. He heaps me.
Jesus, stop quoting, you sick mother. Just take me to bed and get on with it.
In the summer of 71, Alan's brother, Jimmy, was 20 years old. Jimmy was sitting in the lobby of the International Hotel in Las Vegas, watching an excited group of girls checking in. It seemed to him every other sentence they said had the word Elvis in it. Everywhere Jimmy looked, he saw signs reading Elvis Summer Festival. All the staff, from desk clerks to bellboys, were wearing straw hats with the same words. Watching all the action in front of him, Jimmy failed to notice the vision of a teenage beauty that approached him from the side. She looked down at him with emerald eyes that were almost touched by brunette bangs. She gave him a little pepsodent smile that went unnoticed until she spoke.
Hey, what are you doing in Pickup Heaven?
What?
You don't look like you like guys.
Oh, hi. I'm sorry, I don't understand.
That sofa you're sitting on? It's called Pickup Heaven, by the guys in Elvis's group. The guys come down here to cruise the lobby, especially this sofa, to find girls that will do anything to get invited to one of Elvis's parties. But I don't think you have to worry. The guys in Elvis's group aren't that way.
Oh, I see.
Are you here to see Elvis?
Oh, yeah. I've got reservations to see the show tonight, which I've been looking forward to my whole life.
See Elvis and die.
I think you mean Rome, but I know what you mean. I'm here with my friend Dave. My name's Jimmy. I'm from Denver.
I'm Angeline, from Seattle.
Have you seen Elvis yet?
3 times. Tonight will be the 4th. He kissed me twice. During the show, I mean. Oh, when he sang Love Me Tender.
How can you afford to stay here so long and see 4 shows?
My father. He's a lawyer. He and my mom let me come down here a few days ahead of them.
That's cool.
Yeah, but I had to promise not to leave the hotel until they get here. But that's okay. It's a big place. Except, I wish I could gamble.
Well, you'll have to wait a few years for that.
Yeah, 5 years. But anyway, Elvis is the important thing. His show, I mean. So I just wait for the nighttime.
What do you do in the daytime?
I go to the pool, hang out, talk to the other fans, eat.
What are you doing after the show tonight?
I don't know.
Would you like some company? Talk about the show, get something to eat in the cafe? Hamburgers and Cokes?
Well, gee, I don't know. You're a lot older than me.
I'm 20, only 20. That's 14 years younger than Elvis.
And 4 years older than me. A big 4 years, my father would say. And has said. More than once, I'm afraid.
Well, he's not around, and I won't tell him when he arrives. And for hamburgers and Cokes after the show, there's no age difference at all. It's not even a date, just 2 Elvis fans talking about the concert they've just seen.
Yes, maybe. If you put it that way. But what about your friend? Will he mind?
He's 21. He can gamble, so he'll be busy with that.
Well, okay. But why don't you ask me after the show? My mind's on Elvis until then.
Okay, where? Where do I meet you after the show so I can ask you again?
Oh, how about outside the showroom door?
Great. Well, Pickup Heaven is working out pretty well for me, don't you think?
Well, maybe not a pickup, but it seems so. Well, bye for now. And you better get off that sofa soon.
Yeah, good idea. Gotta get ready for Elvis anyway. We're gonna be in rock and roll heaven tonight.
Here's a song that I recorded in 1956. It was my #1 record, written by Otis Blackwell. I sang it on the Ed Sullivan Show too. It's called Don't Be Cruel. It goes like this.
Elvis, in his white jumpsuit, rocked out the song, backed by James Burton on lead guitar, and a full orchestra behind the rhythm section. Near the back of the showroom, Jimmy and his friend Dave sat at their table, wrapped up in the spell that Elvis had cast over the audience. But even in his euphoria of seeing the king, Jimmy's mind and eyes kept drifting to the girl that was sitting midway down to the stage. The girl who had spotted him and waved before the show started. The girl that God had put on earth for him, even if it were only for his short stay in Las Vegas. The beautiful, the sweet Angeline. After the show, as the crowd moved out of the showroom and into the casino, Jimmy waited for Angeline. He wondered what he could arrange to entertain her. The hotel cafe didn't seem fun enough. How could I possibly follow Elvis's act, he asked himself. But suddenly he let that worry fly away, as his angel flew toward him, out of the crowd.
Hey, did you like him? Wasn't he great?
Sure, of course. A great show, huh?
Yeah, wonderful. It was his best show that I saw up until now.
Can't believe I really saw him. It was like a dream.
Did you see me kiss him?
Yeah, I did. I was jealous.
You really were?
Yeah, because I wanted to kiss him too.
Don't say that.
Come on, let's get out of this crowd and get some air.
Okay.
Jimmy and Angeline went out the front door that led to the desert night. Jimmy felt the warmth grab him gently like a soft hand as his body readjusted from its air-conditioned interior life. The warmth turned to heat, but a friendly heat that opened him up.
Wow, it feels great to get out in some fresh air.
It feels wonderful.
That's for sure. I never felt this kind of desert air.
But not for long, okay? I promised my parents that I wouldn't go out of the hotel.
I think this is okay. You're still on the hotel grounds.
Yeah, I guess so. Anyway, this is the only place to be after seeing Elvis. Under the stars. Look at that big sign with just one big red word. Elvis.
Yeah, that's the word, all right. Elvis. And another good word is Angeline, because I'm really happy that you remembered to meet me after the show.
Sure. I said I would. It's fun to be with another fan.
Yeah? You know, I was just thinking that I should have invited my brother Alan. He's younger, and I was going to Vegas with Dave, so I didn't think to ask him. Now I'm going to feel guilty when I tell him how exciting it was to see Elvis.
It's okay. I'm sure he'll see him sometime.
Yeah, he will. I'll make sure he sees Elvis. Maybe I'll take him here next time Elvis comes here.
Yeah, sure. Everyone should see Elvis. So, what do we do tonight?
I don't know. We could hit the cafe or... Oh, how late do you think the pool is open?
It's open late, I guess. Oh, look! What's going on over there?
Angeline pointed over to the hotel, where a group of people were exiting from the side door. Looked to be 10 or so men and women moving at a fast walk.
Whoever they are, they're headed for that bus.
Let's go check it out.
I don't know.
Hey, I know. I heard people talking by the pool today that maybe Shane was coming to see Elvis.
I didn't see him at the show.
Me neither, but maybe that's his bus.
Well, better not get too close. I'm sure they've got security, bodyguards, you know.
It's okay. Come on, let's just take a little closer look.
Angeline started walking quickly in the direction of the bus. Jimmy reluctantly followed. As he walked, he scanned the crowd, hoping to get a glimpse of Shane, if indeed this was his group. A second wave of 8 people, mostly women, came rushing out of the same exit, also heading for the bus. The first group reached the bus. The front door hissed open, and they quickly began to board. Jimmy and Angeline were now close enough to hear the laughs, giggles, and war whoops coming from the group as they ascended the stairs. The bus started roaring to life as the engines kicked in and the lights turned on, giving the impression that a sleeping dragon had awakened. This caused Jimmy and Angeline to slow their walk as they approached. Angeline then tried to jump up to see inside the windows.
Oh, God. I can't see anything. Come on, give me a boost.
A boost? You are brave. What happened to the sweet little girl from Seattle?
Oh, you don't know that when it comes to rock and roll, I'm a wild child.
Yeah, I can see that.
Angeline headed toward the door. She put one foot on the step and peered up at the driver, who paid her no mind as he was looking back at the partying group. Jimmy jumped suddenly with surprise as the second wave of people came around the end of the bus like a typhoon as they headed toward him and Angeline on their way to the open door. He knew it was time to assert his manhood and protect his date. Grabbing her around the waist, he quickly swung her away from the door. The action, however, rotated him right next to the stairwell. The crowd of groupies slammed into him. He fell back, and to keep his legs from being crushed, he clumsily scurried up the steps as the group continued pushing him, piling into the noise-filled bus. Making it up the stairs, Jimmy had no time to think. He crawled on his hands and knees, deeper into the party. He heard a voice say, "Let's get the hell out of here." He heard the door hiss closed and the engines being gunned. Next, he felt the vibration of the moving vehicle, and he knew he was on his way out of the parking lot. As he got to his feet, he attempted wait a minute. But the rock music that suddenly came blaring out of the speakers made his plea inaudible. The bus started leaning to the left as it rounded a corner, making some of the partygoers lose their balance.
Hey, you jerks, turn that music down.
Jimmy froze. He knew that voice, even though it was speaking, not singing. The music stopped. Jimmy turned his head to the back of the bus and saw Shane himself standing in front of his private room. Behind him stood a pretty 19-year-old girl.
I said turn it down, not off.
Hey, Shane, man. Any cops following us?
Who gives a shit?
You better give a shit, Shane.
You better shut the hell up, Medusa.
The music went back up and the crowd of 20 began to party, with Jimmy wondering what his next move would be. He figured Angeline was standing alone in the parking lot, pissed off at him for not letting her on the bus. But better that than if she were aboard with him responsible for her. The partying crowd wasted no time. Beer cans were passed out, and couples began kissing. On a sofa next to where Jimmy was standing, two women began to kiss and undress a band member, not caring who was watching. Jimmy had never seen the sights that were starting to unveil around him, so he allowed himself to take in the party for a while. There was no danger, he figured. After all, he could always jump off the bus anytime he wanted and hitch a ride back to Vegas. He then spoke out loud without knowing it.
Well, when in Rome, do as the Romans do.
What'd you say?
Nothing. I just said when in Rome.
Want a hit?
What?
It's just grass, man. Here, take a hit.
Oh, thanks.
You know, you're cute. Aren't you going to return the compliment?
Sure, you're cute, too.
Well, not very original, but I'll take that. My name's Liz. You been with Shane's group long?
Oh, I'm Jimmy. No, not long at all. By the way, where are we headed?
Don't you know?
I just wanted to double check. Everybody says one thing and then another.
We're headed back to LA, as far as I know. And thank God for that. I couldn't take much more of that hotel room scene. I mean, I'm very free, but I do have my limits.
Yeah, right. It's good to have limits.
Another hit?
Nah, I'm good. Nice talking to you, but I gotta talk to the driver.
Jimmy moved through the crowd and reached the front of the bus.
Hey man, could you let me off? I got on by mistake.
Anything you say, bub. The less jerks on the bus, the better. Get it? Jerks on the bus.
Yeah, I get it, and happy to oblige you by getting off.
It's a long walk back to the strip.
No problem. I'll hitch a ride back or walk it.
Feeling the bus slowing down, Shane pushed his way to the front.
What the hell's going on?
Just letting one of your friends off, Shane.
Who the hell are you?
Oh, I got on the bus by accident.
Don't stop, Herb. Keep going. I give the orders around here.
Anything you say, boss.
You didn't answer my question, man. How did you get on this bus?
It was just an accident. I got pushed on. I just came to Vegas to see Elvis.
Elvis is a fag, and he sings faggy songs like that Screw Me Tender. It's got no balls. So why do you want to see him? Are you a fag?
Hey, I'm no fag, and Elvis isn't either.
Shane, leave him alone.
You know what we've got here, Medusa? We got a party crasher.
So are most of these people.
Look, Shane, just let me off the bus.
The hell I will. You crash the party, you pay the price. Sit down here.
Hey, wash your pushing.
You get up, my boys will beat the crap out of you, so stay put. Say, everybody, this guy thinks he can freeload off our party. What do you think we should do with him?
Cool it, Shane. Let's get some sleep.
I say we throw him off the bus and let's see if he bounces, man.
Hey, man, I just want to leave.
Stay down or we beat the crap out of you. And you know what? I think we have another crasher on board as well. Where's that bitch from the hotel who crashed our room and then didn't party? Where is she?
You mean this one?
Yeah, she's the one.
She's not a rocker at all, man. I think her name's Liz. And she didn't do anything in the hotel at all but watch.
Yeah, likes to watch and not join in. Another freeloading bitch who won't come across.
Aw, don't be like that, Shane. I was invited.
Whoever invited you should be kicked off the bus too.
Please, Shane, come on, let's just party.
That's what we're gonna do.
Shane had one of his band members hold Jimmy down on the sofa.
Hey, let me up.
He grabbed Liz, forcing her to her knees facing Jimmy.
If you like partying now, what's your name?
It's Liz. It's Liz. And what are you doing, Shane? Are you going to make me do something?
Well, Liz, now that you mentioned it, what do you think I've got in mind?
What are you going to make me do?
Oh, nothing you haven't done before, I bet. But you didn't think you'd have to do it to a fag with everyone watching you, did you?
Please, Shane, don't make me do this.
What are you waiting for, Liz? Do this or get something worse.
Shane motioned for another band member to hold Liz down and move her closer to Jimmy as the crowd circled around to watch the show. Shane then went off to his private room, with Medusa following.
What the hell are you doing?
Just a little fun for a party crasher.
What's that? Okay, I've never seen that. You need to stop it.
Just a little fun.
Oh, bastard! You go to prison for this one.
No one knows what goes on in this bus.
Those stupid groupies do.
They'll never talk. Besides, this is just for the party crashers, and they won't talk either.
Shane, this one's gonna come back and bite you.
I doubt it.
By the time Shane returned to the group, Liz, though petrified, was doing her best to entertain, as Jimmy sat frozen, watching her perform on him. As Jimmy watched Liz's osculating face, he didn't notice Shane moving quickly to the side of him and shoving a needle into his arm until the sting hit him.
Jeez, what was that?
Before he could react, the mixture of heroin was plunged into him. Jimmy looked up at the crowd, who were all backing away from him. Liz got off her knees, stood, and backed into the crowd with an expression on her face like she'd just realized she'd gone down on a leper. Shane pulled out the needle and stepped back.
You son of a bitch, I'll kill you!
Relax, man. Don't ruin the rush. Just let your hide take you.
You son of a bitch!
Get that crasher off this bus.
Herb, what are you waiting for? Pull over, open the door.
The motion of the stopping bus, the hiss of the opening door, the hands pushing him out, and the soft ground coming up to meet him, all felt to Jimmy like a dream that somebody else was having. He then heard the snake-like hiss of the closing door, the lion's roar sound of the engine, and the banshee-like heckling calls of some of the group that were sticking their heads out of the bus windows, bidding their short-lived party guest a comical farewell. Jimmy hugged the warm desert earth like it was a newfound mother. He knew that he had escaped danger, but he knew that it was still not safe. Focusing his eyes, he saw the black ribbon of silent, lonely highway stretching out to infinity in the moonlight. Rolling onto his back, he focused his eyes on God's great tapestry that twinkled above him. Was it God talking, or his own mind telling him to make an effort to get back to safety? How much of the drug had that madman pumped into me? Can't take a chance. Have to get to a hospital. Las Vegas can't be too far. How long was I in that damn bus anyway? Too long. He rolled to his stomach, got on his hands and knees and moved forward. Soon the soft ground beneath him began to harden. Was he on asphalt? Jimmy neither saw nor heard the car that hit him. It was only a sudden shock and a flash of light. Now he felt wonderful, as a floating sensation came to him. Yes, he was moving up, looking down at the road from a height of about 30 feet. He saw the car that had hit him had stopped. The driver was running back to check his body. Moving still higher, he felt only a slight disappointment, because somehow he knew he'd be back sometime to have another go at it. But now it was time to go home for a while. Jimmy chuckled to himself. See Elvis and die. He then happily floated higher, onward toward home. In Medusa's apartment, Alan finished telling her what had happened to his older brother Jimmy so many years ago.
Jesus.
My parents got a phone call that morning from the Las Vegas police telling them that Jimmy was found on the highway out of town. Checking his blood for alcohol, they found heroin. Jimmy's friend Dave said that Jimmy went off with a girl after Elvis's show, but, well, the girl said that they split up in the lobby. Her father was a lawyer and told the police to lay off after she gave a statement.
Jesus. That guy was really your brother?
Sure was. The final police report said that Jimmy had probably hitched a ride with, some bad element, and that maybe he shot some heroin with him and they left him on the road. I never would have found out the truth if you hadn't have told me that story about your trip to see Elvis. Jimmy always wanted to be a writer. That's why I'm going to finish a book about my search for Shane. And I'm going to dedicate it to Jimmy. And it'll end with me finding Shane.
Alan, you're going to waste your life searching for a dead man.
I'd strike the sun if it offended me.
Billy Douglas was born in San Diego, California on August 6, 1945, at the exact same hour that thousands of humans were whited out by blast and radiation in Hiroshima, Japan. He later found out about this coincidence when studying world history in high school. From then on, he would always inform new acquaintances and often remind old ones of what happened on the day he was born. As if the power that was unleashed on that terrible day was announcing his birth. As if his arrival on the planet was so significant that thousands had to vacate to make room for him. In 1955, when Billy was 10, Bill Haley, Chuck Berry, and Little Richard were released on America, soon followed by Elvis Presley, Jerry Lee Lewis, and Screamin' Jay Hawkins. From there on, the Douglas home was barraged by the sounds of these and other rockers, much to the annoyance of the neighbors and Billy's parents. Piano lessons gave way to guitar lessons. And when he was 14, Billy formed a band called Billy and the Meteors, performing at school dances with Billy singing lead. When he was 16, he changed the name to Billy and the Kids and began playing county fairs. He also began to try his hand at writing songs. They were always dark, always evil, but also they were entertaining, and more importantly, they were very good. In 1965, when he was 20, he played a large Halloween dance party for the city of San Diego and came under the eye of a young agent named Carl Jessup. Within a month, Jessup had Billy and his group in a recording studio to test out some of the devilish songs that Billy had written.
Mr. Jessup, do you want to record any more today?
No, I've got enough for now. Thanks, Bob.
Okay, I'll have the tapes ready for you in a jiffy then.
Billy, tell me something. Did you write any more songs like this?
Sure, I got some more songs. I can write more, too.
All right. Good. Now, listen carefully, because here's the deal. You guys, the kids, or whatever you're called, are out. I need trained guys that look the part, not you guys.
What the hell? Bullshit on that? Screw you, buddy.
Yeah, whatever. And you, Billy, if you want into the music business, you change your name to Shane. It's stronger and it's easier to remember than Billy. Billy and the bullshit kitties, no last name. So it's Shane, or nothing.
What am I, a cowboy?
It's up to you, kid. I mean Shane. I think you got a shot at the big time. Only a shot, mind you, but with a new name and a hand-picked band. Dump these guys or take a walk with these guys.
Well, so long, guys.
Shit! Go to hell, Billy. Go straight to hell.
Yeah, I'll go straight to hell. But the name's Shane.
I'm bored, Shane. I think you're my kind of rocker. Whether you're the kind of rocker for the rest of the music business, well, time will unravel that mystery.
It took Carl Jessup a year to successfully launch Shane's career. Even though he had limited capital, Jessup had many contacts in the record industry. In 1965, there was still an open-door policy of listening to new singers and new songs. So Jessup made the rounds of Los Angeles-based record producers with a copy of Shane's newly waxed demos and stacks of photos, showing him decked out in a red leather jumpsuit, with half his face covered in red makeup. The photos had the words, "Shane, straight from hell," printed on them. Slowly the offers started to come. Within months, the first of Shane's songs, evil songs, began to find their way onto the radio. Immediately, Jessup put Shane on the road. When the cash started coming in, Shane partook of whatever fancied him at the moment. First it was girls, then liquor, then drugs. At first he was a good judge of his dosage limitations and called himself a social user. But soon the judge was nowhere to be found. After a year of touring and 3 hit records, Jessup added a girl backup group that he named the Gorgons. One girl, who Jessup named Medusa, became Shane's backstage steady. Of course, Shane also indulged in the other 2. Pamela, a sweet, sensitive redhead, and Jennifer, a blonde who had seen it all by age 19. However, it was Medusa who remained popular with Shane because of her air of confidence and independence, even though she was only 18 years old. In the summer of '71, Medusa came to Shane with a problem that even her confidence and independence couldn't handle alone.
So when do you think the baby's due?
Oh, I don't know. 7 months, I guess.
Are you sure it's mine?
Jesus, Shane.
Sorry, Medusa. I know you don't sleep around. I think.
It's yours, of course, Shane.
Well. I wonder if the baby will look like us.
I wonder if he'll write great songs like you do.
So what do you feel like doing with it?
It? Oh, wow. Well, my first thought was to talk with you about it. I haven't thought further than that.
Well, we're talking.
Look, I didn't tell you about this to put you on the spot. I just wanted you to know about it, that's all.
Okay, look, I'll take care of everything. A good doctor, safe, private. You'll be back on your feet and you can appear in my next movie.
I have no intention of stopping this child.
Do you know what that means?
You tell me.
You won't be in the movie. Can't stay with the band. I mean, come on.
I know I can't raise the child, and I don't want to be out of the band. So, what I hope will happen is that you let me go to some small town, have my baby, and then give it up for adoption. Shane, I'll keep everything a secret, I promise. And I mean a secret forever. So please let me continue with the band when I get back.
Well, all right. I'll tell everyone you went away for a rest or some BS like that.
I'll start planning things next week.
So, not to change the subject, but are you going to stay over tonight? I promise to be gentle.
And when have you ever been gentle?
Tonight?
Oh, I doubt it. But let's give it a try.
After having her baby, Medusa returned to Shane and the group to do backup on Shane's new album. In 1972, the L.A. police investigated a report that Shane had roughed up one Liz Hamilton, riding back with Shane and his group on a bus trip from Las Vegas. After some money changed hands, the investigation was dropped. In 1973, midway through a concert in Seattle, a fight broke out between 2 rival biker gangs, which left 2 gang members dead by knife wounds, and several people injured during the stampede of the fleeing audience. In 1974, Shane's movie Rock Monster was released, garnering him bad reviews but good box office. 1975 started out ominously First with a noticeable drop in Shane's record sales, and then with the cancellation of Shane's movie, Swamp Devil. Nothing much happened for Shane for the rest of the year. Finally, Carl Jessup called Shane for a meeting to try to figure out how to turn around Shane's fall in creativity and popularity.
Hey, don't tell me that, Carl. It's your job to take care of the bottom line. None of this is my fault. Just get me another gig.
Look, Shane, I'm telling you, nobody wants you at the old price. And your expenses can't afford a lower price. Your overdue taxes are the debts that will break the camel's back. Your back, Shane. It's not going to be my back.
Yeah, so what? We can pay those off.
Don't say we, man. You dug this grave yourself. I'm not getting buried with you.
Well, then at least stop shoveling dirt on top of me, huh? 'Cause I ain't lying down, so just get me another movie.
Another movie! The studio is suing you for breach of contract on the last one. And they're gonna win. You gotta make a settlement and start paying them.
Me? You traitor. Whatever happened to you always saying us all the way?
You shoved us all the way right up your nose and into the toilet.
Hey, man, don't sugarcoat it. I mean, gee, tell it to me like it is.
That ain't funny, Shane. Or should I start calling you Billy again? 'Cause you're almost busted, with no way out. Thank God they did away with debtor's prisoner. You'd be making license plates for Bruce Springsteen's limo right now.
That's just great, Carl. You're really funny. Why don't you call up Red Fox and tell him you'll be his new son on his show?
Because Red Fox is a star. He don't take calls from agents who represent losers like you.
All right. All right. Tell me what I'm supposed to do.
Slow down for a while. And when I come up with something, don't give me any static. Just do what I say.
Yeah. Maybe. Depends on what it is.
Finally, in July of '76, because of Jessup's pushing, Shane acquiesced to a 2-week gig at Caesar's Palace in Lake Tahoe. A gig that would ultimately lead to 2 deaths and entertainment world shock. After his 3rd night of shows at Caesar's, Shane entered his suite alone. He had sung well. Well enough, he thought, considering that he was on a time schedule and had been concentrating on that during the show more than his singing. He looked at his watch just as there was a knock on the door.
Yeah, man, what do you want?
It's me, Shane.
Me who?
It's Pamela, Shane.
Oh, hell. I can imagine what she wants. Hey, baby, look. You and the girls really sang great tonight. I mean, I appreciate it. But I'm really beat. Let's party tomorrow, okay?
Medusa and Janet sang good, but I sounded like shit tonight because I'm bummed out.
Well, I'm sorry about that, but I've had it for tonight, Pam.
I've really got to see you. Open up, please. I'm really down.
Yeah, that makes 2 of us. Hey, honey, I really can't party now. I've got stuff to do.
I don't need to party. I just need to see you. I'm so bummed out. There's nothing to do in this hellhole.
What do you mean there's nothing to do? Half the band is hanging out in the casino and the other half is partying.
That's what I mean. We've been here 3 nights and I'm all gambled and partied out.
Look, honey, don't lie down here. Why don't you take a couple of downers, go back to your room, and we'll go horseback riding tomorrow.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, we'll have a real nice time. So why don't you go back to your room and, get some sack time?
I don't want to be alone. I can't sleep when I'm alone.
Here, look, take some downers. They'll help you out.
I already took a shitload.
Come on, just take these. They'll make you feel better.
All right, whatever you say, Shane.
Okay, that's great. You'll be good.
Make love to me, Shane. Then I can sleep.
I can't tonight.
I need it. Need you. It'll put me to sleep.
Jesus. Okay. All right. Just lie back and relax.
It only took Shane a few minutes to bring her to orgasm, at which point, true to her form, she shuddered, swooned, and succumbed to an invincible drowsiness. Shane quickly pulled up his pants, grabbed his jacket, and left the room, unaware that Pamela's heart rate had slowed to intervals of a foghorn on a lost ship, owing much to the drugs and alcohol she had taken before coming to Shane's room. But instead of a foghorn that warned away impending destruction, her heartbeat beckoned doom, in the form of an entity more invincible than drug-induced drowsiness. It beckoned the super-invincible, inescapable, Grim Reaper. It did not, however, cut into Pamela's flesh with a harvester's scythe. It gently gathered her up in warm, loving arms and carried her home. 30 minutes later, Shane made his way down to the lake. He walked the beach simulating drunken, wobbly legs. A couple of people walking the beach saw him, recognized him, even said hello. And that was good. He needed some witnesses to his condition and whereabouts. He continued playing the drunk as he found a specially marked rowboat with an outboard motor. He pushed the boat into the water, pretending to almost fall. He staggered in the boat, turned on the gas, and pulled the starter cord a couple of times till the engine kicked in. With the determination of a kamikaze pilot, he headed out into the gigantic Black Lake. Glancing back, he checked out the shoreline to see if anyone was running to stop him, but there was nobody. He then turned his attention to the trees and the faraway cliffs that surrounded the lake, backlit by the unseen moon. They looked to Shane like black paper cutouts in a children's stage play. Perhaps the play about the two children that ventured into the forest and almost met their doom at the hands of a witch. Well, he thought, no sense leaving a trail of breadcrumbs. I'm not planning on coming back. He turned the throttle higher as he headed his boat out into the middle of the lake that was gripped by a thick fog. As he moved into it, the shoreline behind him disappeared in whiteness. Shane now felt completely cut off from all visible proof that he was on the planet, except for the black water that supported his Viking-like funeral ship. Looking up, the stars were now also victims of the fog that surrounded him like a spider web in a black cave. Suddenly from the bow of the boat there came a flash, and then another one. Unknown to Shane, the strobe light had been activated by remote. Soon a speedboat zeroed in on Shane. He could hear the sound of it approaching him in the white distance. It seemed that Jessup's plan for him to fake his own death was working. Then Shane paused and wondered if this was indeed a rescue setup. Or was it just a setup? A hit? Maybe it didn't matter to Jessup if he was fake dead or really dead. He then gained comfort from remembering the plan that Jessup had for him after he was thought dead. From now on, he would secretly write and record new material. Jessup would then periodically pass them off as unreleased or lost recordings. "We'll make a mint," Jessup had told him. "Once a rock star's dead, even a recording of him singing in the shower will sell 1,000,000. Soon Shane could see the large speedboat coming through the fog at him. The dual engines quieted as it approached.
Hey, man. Is that you, Jessup?
It's not hey man, it's ahoy, you stupid shit.
Yeah, right. Ahoy, you stupid shit.
Throw your jacket in the water and grab the Homer from the bow, tape and all.
Right. The bow?
Yeah, in the front. It means the front, dummy.
Okay.
Okay. Come aboard, dead man. Welcome to heaven.
If this is your welcoming committee for heaven, I think I'd rather go to the other place.
Maybe you are in the other place. You ever think of that?
Yeah, all the time.
Okay. Sit down and relax. We'll be ashore soon. I got a car waiting. You'll be driven down to Sacramento. I'll go back to Caesar's, hit the sack, and wait for news of your death. Then I'll meet you in a couple of days.
Say, who's this guy running the boat?
His name's Taglialucci. He's a freelance man I use from time to time. Completely trustworthy. He'll be driving you down.
What does he think is going on here?
It's very middle class to worry about what the help is thinking, so don't sweat it. Okay, Pete, let's get the hell out of here.
2 days later, Jessup arrived at the small Sacramento house that was set up for Shane. Now he had to tell Shane about Pamela's overdose. Though shaken, Jessup knew that Pamela had lately been mixing her pleasures. Too strong and too much. And that it was just a matter of time until the proper mixture of pills and booze took its toll and put her on the death train. However, and he hated to admit this to himself, Pamela's demise couldn't have been better timed. It was like the harbinger of death was on Jessup's side. Pamela, overdosing in Shane's bed, was already being blamed on Shane, thus forever locking the gate on Shane's cemetery, should he so desire to arise from his chosen grave. Yes, this was perfect. He now had total control over Shane, just like Colonel Tom Parker had over Elvis. Jessup gave the bad news to Shane and watched his face react like he'd just been gut-shot.
Pamela dead? Are you sure, Jessup?
Yes, of course I'm sure. I'm as shocked as you. I was in my room expecting to wake up with the news of your death, and I got a call about Pamela being found dead in your room. Hell, it wasn't even reported about somebody finding your boat and the jacket in the lake for another 2 hours. Then the cops finally called me about that.
This is bad, man. Really bad. Poor Pam. What happened?
What's the only thing that could have happened? She OD'd. We all saw it coming. It's a wonder it didn't happen sooner.
But why now? And I'm being blamed for her death. Hell, it just ain't so. I gave her some sleeping pills and a quick bang, that's all. She was just sleeping when I left.
Well, actually, the situation isn't all bad.
What the hell do you mean by that?
Yeah, well, instead of did Shane drown in the lake, they're saying Shane drowned himself to escape punishment for Pam's death.
Hey, man, that's bullshit. You gotta set him straight. I ain't taking the rap for that. I wouldn't hurt Pam for anything. She was a sweet kid, a great lay. I wouldn't do that.
What's done is done. We just have to live with it. Or in your case, die with it.
I can't do this now, man. We gotta stop this thing. It's bad enough hanging around this dump with that lowlife Taglialucci in the next room watching me.
He's your security for now. And don't worry, this is just for a few weeks. Then we'll get you disguised, moved, and set up in Monterey. You'll like it there. You just have to lay low for a while and get a crew cut.
I can't believe this. I should never have agreed to it.
It was the best thing to do. Hell, it was the only thing to do. Now with Pam dead, there's no turning back anyway.
Jessup had a weighted, sealed coffin shipped to L.A., where a quick service was held. Next came the equally quick burial in Carson, where Jessup personally supervised the 2 tons of concrete and bronze that were poured in and laid over Shane's grave. Couldn't have grave robbers, souvenir hunters, or overzealous fans digging up old Shane, could we? He said to the cement truck driver, as the wet mixture glopped down into the grave that was twice as deep as standard. Hey, I just pour what it tell me, the driver said, sealing Shane's fate. For 1,000,000 years, animals came to drink from the small lake which oozed out oil and got stuck there. Their cries of distress attracted predators. Their attempt to eat the trapped animals got them stuck also, in what is now called the La Brea tar pits in Los Angeles, right off busy Wilshire Boulevard. What a perfect city for it to be in, Alan thought, looking at the bubbling tar through the fence that protected the modern L.A. predators from it. This is where Connie's brother Reynaldo had told Alan he would meet him. With no Reynaldo in sight, Alan just stared at the statues of the mammoth elephants and saber-toothed tigers. Then he focused his attention on the bubbling tar on top of the lake. Since Alan was a would-be writer, the symbolism of him being pulled down into the mire wasn't lost on him. Hell of a place to meet, he thought. Maybe Reynaldo is a latent life philosopher and is trying to tell me something. Suddenly there was Reynaldo's voice coming from behind him.
Looks like that elephant needed some help.
Yeah, and his cries for help probably attracted the predators.
Yeah, and they probably ate him raw.
Oh, no. See, they all got stuck in the tar, and that attracted other predators, and they got stuck, and so on and on and on and on.
Yeah, it's a lot of sticky predators.
Yeah, I tell you, over 2,000 skeletons have been pulled out of that lake. Says so right here in the brochure that I've been reading for the last half hour.
Okay, so I was late. You got an education.
Yeah, I'm getting one, all right. So, it's been a couple of weeks. Did you find out what I wanted to know?
Yeah, I found out a few things. Did you bring the money?
Part of it.
What do you mean, part of it?
Well, look, is there somewhere else we can talk about this?
Yeah, I know a better place. Let's take a ride.
Soon, Alan and Reynaldo were speeding down Wilshire Boulevard in Reynaldo's new Ferrari.
So what information did you dig up about Shane?
Let's hold it until we can sit down, over some food. If you don't mind, I got to drop in on a client. He's just up ahead here. It'll only take a minute.
Client? Hey, look, maybe we should talk first, huh?
Nice. Okay, look, once I take care of this guy, my mind will be free, and we can talk.
Reynaldo pulled into the parking lot of a small bakery. Alan saw him hesitate as two customers came out carrying donuts and coffee. When they walked off, Reynaldo opened his door.
Hey, come on in with me. This guy's funny. I think you'll like him.
Alan reluctantly followed Reynaldo into the bakery. At the moment, there were no other customers. The plain-looking woman behind the counter looked up as the two of them approached her. When she realized it was Reynaldo, her expression turned to one of controlled panic.
Hey, Barbara. Hey, how's business?
It's okay, Reynaldo. It's good. But Larry isn't in today. He's gone to pick up flour and stuff. Sugar, He says he'll have the money. He'll have it for you by next Friday.
Relax. Hey, Barbara. Look, I just asked, how's business? And I thought maybe I'd get some donuts. Maybe a cake for my sister. That's all. Oh, this is my associate, Alan.
Hello.
Hi.
So you want some donuts, huh?
Yeah, sure.
What kind would you like?
Oh, I don't know. Let me see. Say, who baked all this stuff today?
Larry did, but early this morning as usual. Then he went out, to pick up stuff we need.
Yeah, like you said. Look, if he's got time to make donuts and cakes, maybe he's got time to pay his debts.
Oh, he will. He'll pay off everything. Just give him some more time.
Come on in the back, Alan, okay? I'll show you how they make this delicious stuff. It's pretty interesting.
He's not here, honest.
Yeah, is that right?
Oh, no.
And who the hell is this hiding under the table?
No, please.
Reynaldo, I'm glad you're here. I wanted to tell you I'll get the money tomorrow.
This is my third time back here, and I don't like it. Now, if you gambled with my money, you'd better win or sell your mother.
He'll get it, Reynaldo.
Don't do anything, Reynaldo. Don't. Not with her watching.
I'm tired of you making a jerk out of me.
No, please, Reynaldo.
Oh, my gosh,
no.
Hey, Reynaldo, calm down.
Hey, Alan. Now, mind your own business, okay? And Barbara, you hang up that phone, or he gets another broken finger.
Barbara put the phone back down, never really intending to call the cops in the first place. Alan watched on helplessly stunned to have been made to witness Reynaldo's intimidation and finger-breaking. Coming out from the back room, Reynaldo looked at Barbara, whose hand was still on the hung-up phone. Reynaldo stared her down as she slowly removed her hand and stood petrified behind the counter. Reynaldo, with a satisfied smirk on his face, picked up a white frosted cake from the counter. He cocked it back in his arm, ready to let go and hit Barbara in the face with it. She prepared for the cake assault with a grimace like she was expecting a bullet.
Ah, hell. God, I ain't no Three Stooges.
Reynaldo put the cake back on the counter and then snagged a piece of cream from the cake with his finger and licked it.
Let's get the hell out of here, Alan.
He'll get it, Reynaldo. He'll get it, honest.
Yeah, well, he better, or he'll end up inside my sister's birthday cake.
At a Pollo Loco stand, Alan winced as Reynaldo broke off the leg of his half-chicken. It had the same snapping sound as that poor guy's finger. But he soon tuned that out of his mind and listened to the results of Reynaldo's inquiries about Shane.
Yeah, I checked with some people that I know. It seems that you may be right. Like maybe this Shane guy is still alive. At first I thought you might be a little loco, like this chicken. Get it? Pollo Loco?
Yeah, I get it. It's funny. So where's he living?
What? You mean his address and zip code?
Yeah, that's exactly right. His address and zip code.
No, I don't have any of that yet. It'll take some doing and some cash.
Hey, look, are you sure this information is legit? I mean, and that you can really locate him?
Hey, man, look, don't question me about what I can do. If I say I can do something, then I can. So don't ever question me about what I can do.
Okay, all right.
All right, so did you bring the cash?
Yes. Yeah, I got it here in my jacket, but it's just $16,000 like I told you on the phone. I mean, that's everything I got. I can't come up with the entire $50,000.
And you don't want to borrow the rest from me, huh?
No offense, but I don't want to be owing you on this for the rest of my life, you know?
Yeah, well, I ain't lowering the price for getting this information on Shane. I can't lower it. People have to be paid. Anyway, look, I thought about it. And since you only have a lousy 16 grand, you can do some favors for me to make up the difference.
And just what are these favors, huh? Or is it endless favors with me owing you for the rest of my life?
Look. It's only two things. And I don't see that you have much choice. Hey, don't jump to conclusions now. After you do these favors, I'll get you what you want on this Shane guy, and after that, we're even. You'll be free as a bird.
And what, pray tell her, these two favors?
Well, we'll take them one at a time. Now, the first one has to do with Consuelo. I told her that you owe me and that she could collect on part of that.
Yeah, but just what does she want? I mean, as if I couldn't guess.
Look, she told me to have you meet her at this place on this exact time and date. Now, here, I wrote it down for you.
Why this place? And why this exact time?
Well, I guess she'll tell you when she sees you. Now, when she tells me that you've done what she wants, then you do what I want. After that, I'll take care of you. So, go make my sister happy, okay? And then, we'll meet again.
Yeah, your sister. Oh, Jesus, I gotta wait a week to find out what she wants at this place? What is she up to?
No, guess you'll find out.
Alan had seen the Denmark Hotel many times while cruising or window shopping in Solvang, just a 30-minute drive from Santa Maria. Now, as he walked into the lobby, he could see that it was the best hotel in the small town of Danish-designed buildings. After hesitantly knocking on the room that Connie was supposed to be in, it slowly opened.
Hi, Connie.
It's good to see you, Alan. Come in.
Yeah, it's nice to see you, too.
So, you and my brother have been up to something, huh?
Did he tell you about it?
I asked him what was going on, but He said he promised you not to talk about it.
Oh, I guess he's a man of honor.
He has his moments.
So, what can I do for you here in the middle of Scandinavia West?
Well, I hope you won't hate me for this. You might, but I think you'll get used to it. Maybe even appreciate it later.
Well, I'm intrigued.
Well, after Reynaldo told me I could ask a favor of you, any favor at all, to repay whatever debt you have with him, I started thinking. Thinking about where I am in life, which is age 28, unmarried, and at a dead-end computer programming job. And to me, that's the end of the line with no hope of it ever changing. And then I started thinking about you. You're 33, sliding into 35, and after that, 40 is not far off. You quit your job, and now you're off on some kind of toot with my brother that's gotten you heavily in debt to him, considering the power that he's given me over you. I don't know if you're still looking for that Shane singer, or working on some get-rich scheme, or have gambled your way into debt, or out whore chasing with my brother. But whatever your adventure is, it does not include me.
That can't be helped.
Well, anyway, I'll tell Reynaldo that I'm satisfied with the favor I asked of you if you agree to marry me in 2 months. Time for you to have a home and kids. If you don't do it now, you never will, so why not with me? I'm so much in love with you, Alan. Don't you even know that?
Sure, I guess I know that.
So what do you say?
Well, if I have to marry you to get your brother to do what I want, then I will.
This will be good for you. I'll be good for you, I promise. Say something, won't you?
What can I say, Connie? I already said it. I'll marry you in 2 months.
Are you angry?
Well, how do you think I feel? I mean, you got me over a barrel. I need you to give the green light to your brother. I'm not thrilled about the situation, but yeah, what the hell? You know, maybe it'll be okay.
And you still can't tell me what you're doing?
No, I don't want to.
It must be about finding Shane.
I don't want to tell you anything.
Is it dangerous?
I don't think so.
Then do what you have to do and come back to me.
How do you know that I'll keep my promise to marry you once Reynaldo gives me what I want? You gonna have him break my legs?
Well, because I think that basically you're an honorable man.
I have my moments, too.
And because today and tomorrow is my ovulation time.
Oh, no. Are you serious?
You might change your mind about me, and maybe not. I don't know for sure. However, for sure, you won't change your mind about your child. Our child.
Ah, now I get it. So that's why this exact date.
Now are you angry?
Well, like I said, you've got me over a barrel. Now I guess you want me to put you over a barrel and knock you up, huh?
Not really. The bed will do. No barrel is needed. But we'll stay here the next 2 days to make sure your seed takes.
I understand why this exact date, but, hey, why this place?
Well, one day when our child is old enough to understand, we'll drive past this hotel and tell him or her that this is where the conception took place.
My. You are the romantic one, aren't you?
I have my moments too, I guess.
Are you really sure you want to do this?
Don't worry. It won't hurt a bit.
Are you sure you're fertile?
All the tourist women are fertile.
So, I guess we'll do it different tonight.
Oh, yes. Yes, for sure.
Two days later, Alan and Reynaldo met again. This time, the cuisine was provided by a downtown L.A. Taco Bell. Reynaldo talked between bites of his red burrito with extra cheese.
So, Consuelo said everything's really cool. Now, all you got to do is this last thing for me, and I'll give you what you want to know about this Shane guy.
Then he's alive?
No. No more talking about Shane. We'll discuss him afterwards.
Okay, so what's this last thing? And I hope it really is the last.
Well, I don't usually get involved in these things, but there's a lot of money to be made every month from mules coming up from Mexico.
Mules?
Drug runners, cocaine. And I need you to make the drive. Hey, come on, don't look so worried. This is a milk run. No problem. It'll be easy.
Yeah, well, if it's so easy, then why don't you go down there yourself?
Oh, no. Too much time away from my business here. Availability is the key to my success.
What about when it's delivered to you?
Oh, no. Look, you don't deliver any damn drugs to me. I'll give you a name and address in L.A. That's where you take the stuff.
I don't know about this.
Hey, you want to find out about this Shane guy or not?
Look, Reynaldo, it's just that I've never been a mule, see?
Don't worry, man, okay? Look, all you have to do is drive. I'm sending an experienced guy with you. His name's Gilbert Ortega. Nice guy. Makes me laugh. Now, he'll make the trade.
Oh, great. So then I just drive him there, right? I mean, I don't actually have to be with him when he goes in to make the trade.
No. You gotta be there with him all the time. Now here, keep this. It's the time and place of the pickup in Laredo, and on the other side is the drop-off place here in L.A.
Is this guy Ortega trustworthy?
Trustworthy? What? You go to college or something? Look, in the business we say, okay.
All right then. Is he okay?
Look, I swear in the eyes of my goldfish, he's okay. Now you pick him up tomorrow at 3. You do the run, you finish, and you call me. And if everything went okay, you get the whereabouts of Mr. Rock and Roll. If he's still alive.
The next day, Alan drove up to the Safari Inn motel. He saw a Mexican man in his 40s holding a briefcase standing in the parking lot. Yes, it had to be Gilbert Ortega. And he was on time and where he was supposed to be. Not a bad start, Alan thought. Ortega stuck his head into the open passenger side window.
Hey, man. Are you Alan?
Call me Ishmael.
Huh? Reynaldo said you'll be Alan.
Yeah, well, I am, but Ishmael's my nickname.
Oh, okay. I'm Gilbert.
Yeah, hop in. Let's cast off.
Well, sure thing. Let's hit the road.
So, aren't you worried about holding that much cash?
Nah, I'm used to it. And Reynaldo was watching me from his car. Ever been to Laredo?
Nope. First time.
Oh, you'll like it. It's a nice drive.
Hey, listen, I threw a couple of bottles of Avion in the back seat if you get thirsty, okay?
Oh, well, that's cool. But we better not drink on the job. Reynaldo won't like it.
Wait, it's mineral water.
Oh, Avion. Yeah. Okay, that's great. I love that shit.
Yeah. Okay, well, 2 of them are yours.
Great. Yeah, thanks, friend.
Sure, you're welcome. So, what's the driving time to Laredo? I'm a little concerned about getting there on time.
Oh, no sweat, man. We'll arrive in Tucson about midnight tonight, sleep over, then get to Laredo the next night. We sleep again, and then meet the boys for the exchange. Simple as that. With plenty of time.
Sounds good. Say, you ever read Moby Dick?
Moby Dick? Yeah, I saw the movie. That big white goddamn whale killed Gregory Peck. Yeah, it's a good movie.
Well, see, I've got this book right here on tape. How about listening to it a little? Huh?
Yeah, sure, man. Whatever. I'm game. Turn it on.
Moby Dick by Herman Melville. Call me Ishmael.
Ishmael? Oh, now I get it.
Some years ago, having little or no money in my purse, I thought I would sail about a little and see the watery part of the world. I am tormented with an everlasting itch for things remote. I love to sail forbidden seas and land on barbarous coasts. Chief amongst my motives was the overwhelming idea of the great whale himself, Such a mysterious monster aroused all my curiosity. Then the wild and distant seas, where he rolled his island...
When Alan saw the sign for the Riverview Motel in Laredo, he figured that the owner must have been delusional, because the Rio Grande was nowhere in sight. The motel was a 15-room disaster area that was trying but failing to look like a Spanish mission. There were only 2 battered cars parked next to rooms. It's a perfect place for drug dealers to meet, Alan thought, as he pulled to a stop in the middle of the parking lot and turned off the ignition. Who else would want to get near a place like this? In the passenger seat, Gilbert Ortega opened the briefcase full of cash and looked at it with hunger in his eyes.
Thinking of keeping it?
Oh, no, hell no. I was just taking a last look.
Hey, what room are they supposed to be in?
Room 8. It's always the same room.
Hey, these guys, these mules, are they always the same guys?
Yeah, always the same. Rudy and Trinidad. They're okay guys, but don't call Trinidad Trini Lopez. He goes crazy wild when you do that.
Did you ever call him that? Call him Trini Lopez?
Only once.
What did he do?
Oh, he started screaming and spit on my shoes.
Oh, wonderful. So, do you think they're in there already?
Yeah, no doubt. They always arrive early. That's their junker car right over there. Nice cover, huh?
Yeah, pretty smart. Hey, I'm still wondering why I have to go in there with you, you know? I mean, I don't have a gun. I can't back you up.
It's not that. I mean, you have to be in there because we can't have anyone, especially a new man, sitting out on the car like he's going to signal the DEA or something.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Sure it does. Remember, I've been doing jobs like this for a while, and I know what goes down and what these guys expect of people that they deal with.
Okay, I guess I'll go in.
Well, it's the exact right time. Let's do this. Now, get out slowly, walk slowly alongside of me.
Right. Oh, man, I feel like I'm out of my body, watching myself on TV.
What? Are you okay, man?
Yeah. I always wanted to meet Trini Lopez.
Alan walked next to Ortega as they slowly headed for room 8. Visions of Wyatt Earp and his brothers heading toward the OK Corral formed in Alan's mind. Next came the image of Connie crying when she heard about his death in Texas at the hands of drug runners. They reached the door. Ortega hesitated a few seconds, then knocked gently.
Hey, Trinidad! Rudy! It's me, Gilbert Ortega. I'm here with my driver. His name is Alan. Yeah, he's okay, man.
Come on inside. Slowly, huh?
Alan followed Ortega inside the room and closed the door behind him. In the corner stood a middle-aged Mexican the size of a gorilla, pointing a gun at them. Another Mexican, who was almost handsome if it weren't for various facial scars, sat coolly on the bed. Even weaponless, he seemed to Alan to be the most lethal looking.
That's it, boys. Nice and slow. Hey, Gilberto, ¿qué pasa?
Oh, good, Trinidad. Good. Everything's okay.
Oh, no. Not another pinche gringo.
Why, don't you like gringos, Rodolfo?
They always cause trouble, jefe.
Oh, I don't think this one will make any trouble. What do you say, amigo? Are you gonna make trouble for us?
No, not at all.
You come alone? Any of your amigos outside?
We're alone.
Everything's cool, Trinidad. Yeah, we're alone, and we're right on time.
Then why is he so nervous?
Yes, I'm thinking that too. What are you so nervous about?
Well, it's just been that...
It's his first time. That's all. I told you he's okay. He was handpicked by Reynaldo Torres himself.
Hey, gringo, how old are you?
Me? I'm 33.
You're pretty damn old to be just starting out in this business.
Well, See, look, I got in hock with Reynaldo, you know, so he had me drive Gilbert here on this job, that's all.
You must be awfully stupid to risk the drug run for a couple of bucks.
Well, it wasn't just a couple of bucks, and Reynaldo doesn't take IOUs. It was either this job or get my arm broke.
A broken arm is not so bad in this business. Worse can happen. I can tell you.
I imagine so.
You know how old I was when I got started in this business?
No, I don't.
He was 13
And Rodolfo, I'm talking here. It is my story. Can I tell it?
Sí, jefe, disculpa. ¿Cómo no? Go ahead.
Look, I was 13 in Piedras Negras when I started delivering drugs, and my family and my uncle's family never went hungry. And when I was 16, I killed my supplier and took over his business. Did you ever kill anyone?
No, I haven't.
No, I guess not. You don't have that look of murder on your face.
He's okay, Trinidad.
Yeah, let's get on with it, jefe.
All right, enough of this. Let's see the cash.
Yeah, sure. Well, here it is. Everything's okay.
Everything's okay. Are you okay?
What?
I said, are you okay?
That's a good one. Of course I am. You know that.
He may know that, but you know what? I don't know it.
Ah, see. It looks like it's all there.
Of course it is. It's just like always. Where's the Coke?
It's right here, just like always.
Ah, beautiful.
And you'll drive this to Long Beach, just like always?
Of course. I always do.
You do know we weigh the stuff before we bring it in here, don't you?
Oh, sure. I mean, I guess you do.
And that the Long Beach boys weigh them, too?
I don't know. I suppose they do.
They weigh them exactly correct.
So what's that got to do with me? I mean, I just deliver the stuff.
You just deliver it? That's all?
Yeah, that's all. I mean, I deliver it to the Long Beach boys.
And you don't skim any coke for yourself?
Hell no. I don't skim. I never skim.
He's lying, boss.
Look, what the hell? What's the knife for? Easy, Trinidad, easy.
Hey, Mr. Wade.
Shut up, gringo. Cállate el hocico.
You never skim, huh, Gilberto?
No, senor, no.
You want to stick with that answer? Or you want to keep your huevos?
I want to keep my huevos.
Then tell me, es verdad que no?
Look, I only took a little.
Huh.
Look, just once.
Bullshit.
You skimmed at least twice. We know that. So don't lie to me.
Jefe, let's cut his head off and be done with him como la basura que es.
Please, don't do that, mister.
Nobody steals from Trinidad de Vega, and nobody lies to Trinidad de Vega. So for the last time, before I start cutting you up, did you skim or not?
Okay. All right. I took a little 3 times, okay? I was just a little, okay? I just wanted my share.
Your share? Hijo de puta, you're a paid delivery boy, not our partner.
Look, I'm sorry, okay? I just needed a little extra for my family, you know?
No te preocupes, perro. You don't gotta worry about your family anymore.
And they don't have to worry about you either.
Hey, please, mister. I mean, Reynaldo will make this all right with you. Please, let him go.
Shut up, gringo. This is none of your business.
Please, Senor Vega. Look, I promise you, look, I won't do it again. My family really needs me, okay?
You should have thought about that before. Now stand up and be a man, not a maricón.
Christ. Gracias, Trinidad. Look, I promise I won't do it again, okay?
You know, Gilberto, you are a disgrace to our race. How can you live with yourself? Get over there.
Then you're not gonna hurt me, senor?
Hell no. I wouldn't waste my time cleaning my knife of your stinking blood.
Oh, God. Gracias.
Rudy, get rid of this garbage.
Oh, no. Alan! Don't tell her it was like this.
The thunderous sound of Rudy's gun in the small room shut Alan's eyes. The vibration shook dust and loose paint off the ceiling and walls. Alan kept his eyes shut tight as another clap of the gun vibrated out. Now, except for the ringing in his ears, there was silence. Alan slowly opened his eyes and looked down at the floor where Ortega had been standing to see one of Ortega's shoes. He looked up, but Ortega wasn't in sight. He had been blown over the sofa he was standing in front of and now lay behind it. The wall behind the sofa didn't even have the expected blood on it, as the dum-dums fired from Rudy's pistol had broken up and sprayed through Ortega's body and stopped without exiting. Rudy said something to Trinidad in Spanish with a chuckle, which Alan figured meant something like, "Well, that takes care of this asshole." Trinidad returned the comment also in Spanish, which to Alan sounded like, "And now what about this other asshole?" Then Rudy changed to English.
Oye, jefe, you better talk to this gringo. He looks like he might just faint on us.
Hey, gringo, get the cocaine and make the delivery. And do a good job, huh?
Yes, sir.
You know where to deliver this stuff?
Yes, sir.
Got gas money? Hotel money?
Yes, sir. I have enough. Thank you for asking.
Not to worry, man. Well, I guess you'd better get on the road.
Yes.
Have a nice drive.
Thank you.
Hey, gringo, don't drive too fast. You know, you wouldn't want to get pulled over for a speeding ticket or anything.
Oh, no, sir. I won't drive fast. Thank you.
Adios, senor drug runner.
Alan opened the door and slowly headed for his car, this time not minding the heat. When he knew he was far enough away from the door, he muttered to himself.
God damn you, Trini Lopez.
Driving away from the motel, he punched on his audiobook of Moby Dick for distraction. But the reader's voice failed to calm him.
Sustained me until I was found. The drama is now done. The sea covers the drowned crew like a shroud. I alone survived to tell.
In a beach house, Shane sat at his table, pen in hand. He now had a plan, and it started with him writing his autobiography. The pen hitting the paper seemed to calm Shane, as if he was in the confessional and wanted to atone.
21 years ago, I drowned in the middle of Lake Tahoe. A year later, Elvis died in his Memphis home. Elvis moved on to a higher vibrational plane. I moved on to a house in the secluded woods in the Monterey Mountains. I became Curtis LeMay, new passport, social security number, the works, all arranged by my agent's dubious contacts. I had what every rock and roll star lacked, and seeks anonymity. I could hide behind the image of an upright citizen as I committed my secret excesses and debaucheries, a Dr. Jekyll to conceal the vile deeds of Mr. Hyde. I could fornicate, drink, snort, and fight, but could return at dawn, go to sleep, and wake up as the forthright Curtis LeMay. No potion to drink, no bank account in Hyde's name, no back entrance for the monster to use, and best of all, no hideous face to contend with when my evil side was loose, making seduction of my prey all the more easy. While others might have used their newfound life to travel, study, read the great novels, or perhaps write one, see the great works of art, or perhaps paint one, I ignored all of that and was content to haunt dark bars, secret clubs, houses of prostitution, and corrupt the innocent. All that ended on the night that rained blood. You see, I had been meeting this hot young thing. She was married to some old guy, Monterey farmer. Married him for his money. Anyway, we would meet once or twice a week at a motel by the ocean. Well, one night he found us. He came crashing through the door, double-barrel shotgun in hand, catching us right in the act.
Vicky!
Oh my God!
Goddamn whore! What are you doing? How could you do this to me?
Oh my God, Marcus! Don't shoot!
Hey, mister, cool it, please, okay?
Marcus, what are you
What am I doing here? What are you doing here's more like it?
Mister, let's talk. It's okay. It's okay.
I ain't okay. It's for the last time. This bitch been doing this to me for years.
Marcus, this doesn't mean anything. He doesn't mean anything
Listen,
to me. It's okay.
Can we just talk, mister, please? Huh? Just let us go. Let us go.
No. Everybody stop saying okay, or I'm gonna start blasting.
What are you gonna do?
You know what I'm gonna do to you? You don't know, but I do. I'm gonna put both barrels inside you and pull the trigger.
Oh my God. Stop talking like that, Marcus.
Do you know what a 00 buckshot will do when it goes oof inside of you, huh, Vicky?
Marcus, stop!
Oh, it'll keep you from having children, that's for sure.
Mister, please, we can work this out. Will you please let me make it right?
Bullshit! How are you gonna make it right?
I'll give you some money. Money to make you rich for the rest of your life.
Rest of my life.
Listen, I got $1,000 right in my wallet.
Oh,
Calling my wife $1,000 whore.
No, man, that's just for starters. I can give you whatever. I'll give you 100,000. I'll give you 200,000.
200,000 won't buy my wife. I got that in farmland.
Oh, please, Marcus. Let's just go home, huh?
No, Vicky. You ain't dressed for it.
Oh, come on, man.
Well, Vicky, should I just squeeze one off?
Oh, God, no.
How about it, mister? You had a taste of my wife. Want a taste of my double barrel? What do you say?
Look, I swear this will not happen again. Will you just let us go?
Oh, yes, please.
Oh, hell, Vicky.
No, man.
Oh,
No, don't.
Jesus. Shane? Oh, man, you really know how to get yourself in a bind.
Come on, Carl. I didn't drive down here for a lecture.
All right. Okay, so tell me, after this guy shotgunned himself, what happened?
I got the hell out of there and hightailed it down here. Drove all the way barefoot. Took my time. I tell you, I didn't want no cop pulling me over with blood on my shirt. Christ, you should have seen that room.
No, I'm glad I missed it. So I take it that you did not go back to your place.
I couldn't chance it. I drove straight down here.
Well, at least that's good thinking. What about the girl?
She doesn't know anything about me.
Okay, so far, not bad. Wow. I always told you some husband would wind up killing you.
You always said drugs would wind up killing me.
I said that too.
Well, anyway, my Curtis LeMay alias is no good now. Now I've left my house to the wolves.
Yeah, there's no problem about that. It's just a rental.
Well, you better burn that paper trail with my name on it.
No need for that. All you have to do is disappear. Just don't go back to your house. All the paperwork is under the name LeMay, so that's it. The guy's wife knows you as LeMay, right?
Right, yes.
So, no problem at all. Except for the loss of your stuff in the house. All Curtis LeMay has to do is disappear.
Good. So set me up with another name. You know, I was thinking about living in New Orleans for a while.
No, man. That's too busy a party town. You don't want to run into any showbiz types that might know you. Look, Shane, you're not only my best friend, but you're also a business commodity, our business commodity. So you know that when I give you advice, it's coming from the heart and from our business concerns.
I'm listening, partner.
Okay. The way I figure it, it's time to play it cool for a while and not risk any sudden discovery by the police or some hotshot reporter. You got to hide out a little deeper than an active city like New Orleans. A year in a remote part of Hawaii is more like it.
Hawaii? Get real, man. I hate those waves flopping in all day.
I mean it, Shane, and not Honolulu, Molokai, or the big island of Hawaii. But first you're going to hide out and dry out in my Arizona place. The desert air will be good for you.
Jesus, Jessup, hide out for what? I'm 41 now. People haven't seen me for what, almost 11 years?
You still look pretty much the same.
Oh, yeah? Maybe I should gain some weight and shave my head?
Hey, now, whoa.
Forget it. You might be wondering why this has-been rock star is even bothering to write his memoirs when his heyday was more than 20 years ago. Perhaps it's because I'm nearing my 51st birthday and I'm nearer to the end of things than at the beginning. This is my 10th year on the island of Hawaii. I had no intention of staying this long. But this place grew on me, gave me a chance to stop all the craziness in my life. I arrived here after being involved in that horrible tragedy in Monterey. My manager set me up with a new name. At first, I was bored stiff when I arrived. Drinking, TV, and women became my main distraction. I finally got tired of that and then just slept a lot and waited for my suggested term on the island to finish. But then a change happened. Her name was Lonnie, short for Kalualani. It was 6 years ago, a couple of weeks after my 45th birthday. Talk about Venus rising from the sea. If Venus was Hawaiian, that is.
Aloha. Hot enough for you?
Sure is. Bet the water's perfect, though.
It's great. You going in?
Maybe later I will. I haven't seen you around here before, and I've been living here for a long time.
Well, I don't usually use this beach. I'm usually where my aunt lives, about a mile or so down. You said you live around here?
Yeah, just up the beach. But I'm from the mainland originally. Got a day off, it seems, huh?
Well, kinda. I go to the university on Oahu. Right now, it's spring break.
So that book you have there is a school book?
Not really. This one's for fun. It's Oscar Wilde, The Picture of Dorian Gray.
That's the one about the weird painting.
Yeah, that's right. The hero does horrible things in his life, to himself and others. But he remains young and handsome, while his portrait distorts and turns ugly because of his evil and foul deeds.
That sounds pretty scary.
Yeah, but it's a masterpiece. I think so anyway. This is my second time through it.
A painting that turns old and ugly instead of the man, huh? Come to think of it, I could use a painting like that.
Why? You done evil and foul things in your life?
Only my share. Well, maybe a little more than my share.
Well, maybe not so many, I think. Anyway, you look pretty good to me. So for you, I think no such painting is necessary.
Well, thank you. It's nice of you to say. And how about you?
How about me what?
Any evil or foul deeds in your life?
Well, maybe some evil things. Thoughts, anyway. But nothing foul, I don't think.
I'm sure of that in your case. You're much too young to have done anything like that.
Well, you never know. 20 could be old enough for that.
No, I can see you'll never need a painting to hide any of your thoughts or deeds.
Thanks.
Well, it's been nice talking to you. I'll leave you to Oscar Wilde.
Hey, I don't want you to get the wrong idea, but you get any plans for dinner tonight?
Well, I don't know. But I thought it was the mainlanders that picked up the Wahinis and not the other way around.
It works both ways. But this is not a pickup. Not exactly. You see, it would be dinner with my aunt. At my aunt's house. You like her, and she could use the company and someone extra to cook for. She's got a lot of good stories. You know, island history with a heavy dose of gossip.
I like good gossip. Will you be there too?
Yeah, sure I'll be there. We can talk more about what happened to Dorian Gray.
Hey, it sounds like it might be fun.
Sure it will. So what do you say? My aunt's a great cook.
Hawaiian food?
Pineapple, pumpkin, and poi.
The dinner at our aunt's house was very enjoyable. The three of us talked easily about many things.
Aloha, it's me.
Well, good morning, Lonnie. What brings you out this early?
This is early?
Well, a little for me, but that's okay.
Oh, well, anyway. By the way, my aunt had a nice time with you last night. So did I. Thanks for pretending to be interested in all her stories.
I wasn't pretending. I had a good time. So what's that you got there?
Oh, some fruit for breakfast, but also, and more important...
More important than breakfast?
Well, almost. But I rented videos of some of the movies we talked about last night. The ones you haven't seen.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I don't have a video player.
Yeah, I guess that. So I picked up one for you. My gift. Got it in the car. So let's hook it up and start catching you up on some important movies.
Well, thanks. What movies do you have?
Vertigo, A Place in the Sun, Treasure of Sierra Madre, and Rio Bravo.
Oh, that's the one with Ricky Nelson in it.
Yeah, John Wayne, Dee Martin, and Walter Brennan, too.
Why, Rio Bravo?
'Cause the theme of it is, no person is unimportant, useless, or should be left behind. Not the drunk, the crippled old man, or the young.
So what are you trying to tell me? That you're the young and I'm the drunk and crippled old man?
You're funny. I'm not trying to tell you anything. That's just what I learned in film appreciation class. And something I think is important. Besides, it's a great movie.
Sounds good. And I've always liked Rick Nelson.
Good. So you're gonna invite me in? Or we're gonna watch these on your front porch?
No, sure, let's get started.
Great. Grab the video player in the car, will ya?
Whatever you say. Anything else, slave driver?
Can I use your kitchen to cut up this fruit?
Help yourself, but don't get the idea that you can domesticate me. I'm a lost cause.
Like I said, no one is a lost cause. Not Dee Martin, not Walter Brennan, and not you.
Don't be too sure of that. Lonnie dubbed herself my movie mentor for the summer. With her and the movies, I was beginning to see the value of good creative work. Work just for the enjoyment of it, the creativity of it. Watching Ricky Nelson and Rio Bravo, I thought about how Ricky had just left us in a plane crash. How even though the spotlight left him in the 60s, he always had a respected band, recorded, toured, and remained true to the music. Something I had failed to do. But now I want to correct. Lonnie asked me no questions about my past, and I volunteered none. Maybe she was waiting for me to talk about myself, but I never did. She sensed that and asked nothing but my friendship until she went back to the main island when college began. She left me a dozen books, including The Fountainhead, The Time Machine, and of course, Dorian Gray. These books increased my appreciation for good work. When Lonnie returned, our relationship deepened, and I enjoyed that. Making love to a woman instead of at her seemed a new experience for me. Later that night, we walked on the beach. Oh, it's a beautiful evening. I've never seen the stars so bright.
Yeah, I love the ocean at night. One of the best things about Hawaii.
So, things have changed, I guess, between you and me.
Not changed, I think. But deepened, yeah.
Is that a good thing or bad?
Good, of course. How could that be bad?
You know, with a 25-year age difference, I can't see much of a future for us.
I don't remember asking you for a future.
No, you never asked for anything, even information about what I did before I came to the island.
You'll tell me what you want to, when you want to. Besides, you don't know much about my past either.
You're too young to have a past.
Oh, you might be surprised about that. There's a lot that can happen, even for someone who's only 20.
I might, huh? It sounds intriguing.
Well, we can save that for another time.
But for now, the thing I want you to know is that you've changed me. Changed me a lot. More than I thought was possible, actually.
My. So much change for just one night of love? Can sharing a bed for a few hours have so much power?
No, it's not that. I mean, yes, but more than that. Long before tonight, your friendship, the books, the videos, our talks, everything.
That's nice to hear. But as you said, no future together. So let's enjoy tonight. I feel closer to you now, too. But all I want is the time when we can meet. Just those hours. So no future is necessary.
I was always chasing the future. You taught me to live in the present, to live now. When I'm with you, I can forget my past.
That's a big responsibility that you're putting on me. Not that I mind, but is your past so terrible that it needs to be forgotten?
Worse than terrible. My past was a cliché. Rock and roll, success, money, drugs, and death.
Who died?
I did.
You're alive now, I think.
Thanks to you. And because of that, I want to take care of you. Help you. You and your aunt. Make sure you both don't have to worry about your security.
Look, it's very kind of you to think like that. But it's not necessary. And maybe not even nice to mix our feelings with talk of security, money. It's enough to know that I had some good effect on you. And you have had a nice effect on me. That's all.
All right. We don't have to talk about it now.
Yeah, let's just enjoy this night. And each other.
Okay. The greatest gift Lonnie gave me was an appreciation and love for literature. I had always taken pride and pleasure in my songwriting, in the poetry of words. And reading great books brought that feeling back to me. Now, at this point in my life, I want to return to the recording studio and perform. But this time for the right reasons. My plan now is to finish my autobiography, write 12 songs for a new album, record them, and perform them. I want to be remembered as a recording artist, not a rock star. Not a rock star who drowned himself. Suicide is one thing that I have never contemplated, no matter what the theme of my songs might have been.
A few months later, Shane flew to Los Angeles, taking a room at the Universal Hilton. Once settled in, he invited his agent over.
Hey, Carl.
Whoa. Man, you're looking good, Shane.
Thanks. But do you think I've changed enough to take the Universal tour without being recognized?
I don't know. Maybe. If not, there's always Disneyland at Knott's Berry Farm.
I might give them a try.
Wait a minute. You didn't fly all the way down here to be a tourist.
No, actually, I'm tired of being dead, being thought of as a suicide or an overboard drunk. It's time I came back to the living. 21 years dead is enough.
When did you come up with this monumental decision?
It was a gradual process. I explained it all in my book.
Book? Jesus. Are you writing a book? What for?
My life story. It's in my suitcase, all handwritten. And not only that, I've written 12 new songs for an album, my rebirth album. I want it to be called Resurrection.
And what do you intend to do with this book, album, whatever?
Well, first you arrange for a publisher, a top publisher. Then we record an album. When it's set to go, we announce that I'm alive, then release the book and the album, and then top it off with a live concert at the Hollywood Bowl.
You've really got it figured out, haven't you? But, coming back has its risks. There's Pam's death, just to mention one.
I told you 100 times that was accidental. I want to clear that up. I want everyone to know. That's all explained in my book.
Look, Shane, we don't need all this comeback stuff. It's risky. We can coast on what we've got. And listen to this. I'm working with MTV on having a Shane Day on the next anniversary of your death.
I am not dead, man. I'm standing right in front of you.
They'll show your old movies, both of them, and do a documentary on your life.
My life is documented in my book.
They'll also run 2 of your old concert films. The sales on your old records will jump. Look what MTV did for the Monkees.
Hey, man, I'm not the Monkees. And I'll be damned if you aren't going to back me on this.
Man, don't rock the boat. We've got a money machine going here. Stay dead and stay rich.
Carl, I'll do my book, album, and concert with you or without you. So what will it be? With me or without me?
Whoa. Back off a second. I didn't realize it meant so much to you. I mean, hell, if you want to take the legal risk of whatever happens to you by showing up alive, then I'll do all I can to protect you.
That's all I'm asking you for.
Okay, sure. We'll publish, we'll record, and we'll produce your concert, right?
Good.
Okay, the bowl it is.
Good, Carl.
Right. But no leaks to the press, no leaks to anyone. We'll record in secret.
Great. We can set the concert date release my book and my album. That will shock the entertainment industry.
You think?
A month later, at a recording studio in Los Angeles, Shane was finishing the 9th cut on his new album. Even Jessup was impressed as he listened in the control room.
You sound great, Shane. Nice job.
Thanks, man. Oh, it felt great. Felt great.
Any more work tonight?
No, I think it's it for now.
Okay. I'll take you back.
Outside the studio, getting into Jessup's limo and driving off, Jessup allowed a few moments of silence before he started one of those famous pitches of his. Pitches that Shane never liked to hear, no matter what the idea.
Okay, now, look, Pard, I want you to listen to my ideas for your comeback. Please, just listen. Believe me, my ideas don't exclude your ideas. I'm not against any of them.
Okay, man, shoot.
We need your comeback to be creatively expressive for you and a knockout hit. So you can go on doing your thing the way you want to for a very long time. So let me get this out before you jump in, right?
You got it.
Okay. We finished the album, of course. We set the concert date and the release date of your book to coincide with the album. The release date will be November 13th because, here's the kicker, here's my brainstorm. We keep the news of you being alive a secret until Halloween. I've told you about the Carson Cemetery where you're buried. Every year, people go out there to see if you're going to rise from the grave. But this year, I want to make a deal with MTV to have them send a live unit out to the cemetery. We'll set up lights, fog, sound, like I did last year, but instead of an actor being you, it will be you. Huh? Say, speaking of which, the actor I used last year made a run for it when the crowds broke through security. He broke his goddamn collarbone running into a tree trying to get away. I should have given him a flashlight, but then, what the hell? He might have been caught. Broken collarbone was worth it.
I tell you, Carl, you're too much.
Anyway, you get into your leathers, the makeup. We go up to the cemetery. I'll sneak you up to your grave on the hill at midnight, and you'll fly up over your grave with wires. And after the frenzy dies down, after about 7 hours, you come down to the crowd where you'll have a speaker's stand set up and you'll announce your resurrection, the album, and the concert. It'll be fantastic. They'll go crazy. Can you imagine MTV with international coverage? The time is right for this, buddy. Pop music is bigger than ever. There's a lot of money to make out there. Giant. I know you don't like showbiz hype anymore, but a stunt like this will keep you writing and recording forever. Say you'll do the stunt. I'll back you up, even if you want to record the phone book. What do you think? Huh?
You know that time, years back, just before you sent me to Hawaii, when that Monterey farmer offed himself? You had me spend a couple of months at your place in Arizona. You got me pretty well dried out, too. Off the hard stuff, anyway.
Look, Shane, you don't have to...
Maybe it saved my life, you know? You got me a doctor to make house calls. You got 24-hour nurse service. And a nice playmate or two. And you always sent me my end of the royalties. I remember that. Anyway, I owe you, Carl. So if you want me to come in flying like Peter Pan, I'll do it. As long as you release my book and album the way I want. You can fly me to the moon and back.
Thanks, pal. I appreciate it. We're going to have a lot of fun, I promise, man.
Look, do me a favor. Just make sure that you have more security this year. I don't want those fans charging at me.
You got it. No busted collarbone for you.
In a dark bar off Hollywood Boulevard, Alan sat with Reynaldo. Alan had finished off the Laredo run, very successfully delivering the goods to the Long Beach boys. Now he was getting impatient for Reynaldo to make good on his end.
The drama's done. I alone survived to tell thee.
What the hell's that supposed to mean?
It means the deal's done, finished, successful. I delivered the stuff like you wanted.
Yeah. Good job. So, I'm not going to waste time, okay? Now, here's where you'll find Shane. Now, there's this Halloween thing that his agents got planned at the cemetery in Carson. Now, Shane's going to make an appearance there, so you'll have a good chance of nailing him. Now, look, in this briefcase is a gun. It's unmarked. My gift to you. And I think you're going to need it. But be careful, because one thing we know you're not is a gangster.
Yeah, well, that's true, but don't worry about that, Reynaldo, because becoming a gangster is one of my lesser goals.
With earplugs in place, Alan fired his 9mm automatic at the human silhouette. He watched the cardboard fly as the slug sped through it and loved it. This was his third visit to the basement firing range, located just outside the Santa Maria city limits. With each visit, his bullet pattern was grouped tighter. Reynaldo had given the pistol to Alan free of charge, as a sort of gift between brothers, he had said, assuming that Alan might become his brother-in-law. Now, even though the head of his cardboard target was mincemeat, Alan shoved another full clip into the automatic and fired away. All Souls Day was coming up in 3 weeks, and Alan wanted to be ready. Ready to make Shane join all the souls. Inside her apartment, Medusa had been antsy all day. Halloween night was coming on, and besides not having a gig to sing at, she wasn't in the mood for any pain-in-the-ass trick-or-treaters. Nor was she in the mood for whoever was calling on the phone.
Yeah. Who's this?
Hey, Medusa. It's Shane.
Okay, whoever this is, I'm hanging up, 'cause you're not Shane, and this call is in bad taste.
Medusa. It's really me. I'm alive.
I'm hanging up, unless you tell me who this is.
Don't hang up. I'll just call back again. This is me, Medusa. Cindy. It's Shane.
Oh, yeah? Then, if you're Shane, what gift did you give me on Christmas of '73?
Oh, it's a quiz show you want to play, huh?
Just answer the question.
I gave you a baby.
Jesus. Shane? Why did you do this to everybody? How could you let everyone think that you were...
Look, I'm not calling to get a rise out of you. And we'll talk all about this stuff later. I just want to let you know what's going on and what's going to happen tonight, instead of you seeing it on the tube.
What's going to happen?
Well, tonight's Halloween. So this is the night I agreed with Jessup to let the world know I'm back. That is to say that I'm still alive, still here. You know, like a comeback.
Sounds wild.
Yeah, so MTV is going to be broadcasting at my so-called place of rest. You know, the Carson Cemetery. And I didn't want you to faint or anything if you were watching.
I'll be watching. Watching for sure.
Good. And look, there's going to be a concert announced for next month at the Bowl, and I want you and some of the old gang to be involved with it.
Really?
Yeah. I'll tell you more later. But it's all good stuff, so keep the faith. I gotta run. We'll talk more about everything and soon, okay?
Yeah, right.
With a click, the voice was gone. Medusa felt like she had just been invited to a concert in the land of the dead. Was that him or not, she asked herself. No suitable answer came. Connie hadn't heard from Alan for weeks, not since their meeting at the Solvang Hotel. She had given up being hopeful every time the phone rang. But she knew that he couldn't escape her brother, who would drag him to the altar once he had finished whatever the two of them were doing. Then the phone rang, and even though she tried not to let it, hope came that it would be Alan on the other end.
Yes?
Hi, Connie. It's Alan.
Hi. Nice to finally hear from you. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it the way it sounded.
That's no problem. I know you didn't. I'm just calling to see how you are.
You mean, am I or am I not?
Yeah. To be or not to be.
I am. I'm pregnant.
Wow. Congratulations. I'm happy for you.
I was hoping that you'd be happy for both of us. I mean, all three of us.
I am. I'm happy for the three of us.
When are you coming back?
Soon. Very soon. If I survive the night... Damn Shane.
What?
Of nothing. I just wanted to see if... Well, you know...
Yes, I know.
I'll be in touch.
Soon, I hope.
Yeah, soon.
Bye.
Connie was left with the dial tone humming in her ear and an embryo growing inside her to keep her company until her man returned. Then the question came to her, why did he say, if I survive the night? A figure of speech? Or was he in danger? Reynaldo was sitting up in bed in his apartment watching MTV with his blonde of the week next to him to take his mind off the commercials. He had his night all comfortably laid out. And then the phone rang.
Hello?
Where is he?
Consuelo?
I think he's going to do something crazy.
Oh, Consuelo, go to bed.
Ayos, he's talking about surviving the night, muttering something about Shane. Now tell me where he is before I come over there and beat it out of you.
Consuelo, go to bed.
Not till you tell me where he is.
All right. You want to know? Your boyfriend, Alan, is now at the Carson Cemetery with a gun. And he's going to shoot this singer Shane, and you can see it live on MTV with some pendejo jerk-off named Martel.
How could you do this to me? I'm going to have his baby.
Well, how was I supposed to know that?
You son of a bitch, Ayos mío.
Consuelo! Don't hang up! Oh, Jesus. Damn it all to hell.
The Carson Cemetery was filling up with Shane fans and resurrection hopefuls, even though it was 3 hours before the expected event. The MTV video truck was already set up and broadcasting.
This is Wild Bartell reporting live from Carson City Memorial Cemetery. It's 9 p.m. and we'll be here until the witching hour to see if rock legend Shane will actually rise from the grave like he did last year. Only this year, Shane's agent, Carl Jessup, says that something exciting and special will happen. Already, people are pouring in and cars are filling up the limited parking area.
Alan moved through the crowd slowly, surveying the area to choose his best battle station. He fortified his mind to ward off any hesitation. Police-guarded barriers separated the crowd from the base of the hill where Shane's grave was. To the right, Alan saw a speaker's stand with a microphone. Yes, Alan surmised. Shane will make an entrance at his grave like he did last year, and then come down the hill to the speaker's stand to be interviewed. And that's where I'll get him. Because the crowd's attention was fixed on the gravesite, the space by the speaker's stand was almost completely open, save for a dozen or so fans that were gathered there. With the determination of Jack Ruby, he headed for that space, which he now deemed as ground zero. The site of the upcoming cleansing, the place where he would redeem his past, pathetic, meaningless, keyboard-punching, dice-throwing, girl-banging life. Redeem himself by doing something worthwhile, like sending Shane back to his grave where he belonged. Outside his apartment, Reynaldo was picked up by his sometime bodyguard, Junior Herrera. Reynaldo instructed him to head for the Carson Cemetery. Junior wasn't too hot on cemeteries, especially on a full moonlit Halloween night. But he told himself, what the hell do I care, I'm on salary. So he concentrated on the cash he'd make tonight and tried to forget about the upcoming graves, ghosts, wolfmen, and zombies. Connie's car clock glowed out 10:26 as the 101 freeway passed through Santa Barbara. She had gotten directions to Carson City and the cemetery while gassing up, and now each white stripe on the road got her closer to her destination. She practiced the speech she would make to talk the father of her child out of screwing up all three of their lives. If that failed, she'd find a cop and tell him that Alan was carrying a gun. Connie convinced herself Alan might end up with probation or a short jail term for carrying an unlicensed concealed weapon, but it would be nothing compared to the length of a murder conviction. It was 10:27 when Shane and Jessup had finally been driven into the back entrance of the cemetery. The gate was opened by a security guard whose job it had been to keep cars from parking in front of it, and also to let in the special effects men. Jessup directed the driver to go down the back road and pull up behind the hill that was crowded with headstones. The way being free and clear of spectators, Jessup and Shane got out of the car and started walking up to where Shane's grave and resurrection would be staged. At the grave site were the two special effects men. They were old and retired, making them more trustworthy to Jessup. They stood as Shane and Jessup approached.
How's it going, guys?
Things are pretty well set up. Is this a guy you want to fly?
Yeah, he's the one.
That shouldn't be a problem. Just get him up here 15 minutes before midnight.
Right. Come on, let's take a quick look over the hill. Keep down low so they don't see us. Jesus, more people than I thought. This is great. Just look at that scene. I got extra fog being pumped in down there. Jeez, looks like a Dracula movie. Anyway, after you rise from the grave, two of us will go down to the speaker's stand that's right down there, see? And tell the world that you're back.
Sounds good. I hope.
Okay, let's sit down here for a while and take a load off.
Oh, man, I'm too nervous to sit.
Come on, Shane. Pull up a marble slab.
All right. Say, do you remember the time in Little Rock, I think it was, when some fans sneaked into rehearsal?
No, I don't. I don't even remember Little Rock.
Well, it was some tall, skinny geek. He was yelling for an autograph and grabbing me, and before the guys could pull him off, I kneed him in the balls and hit him as hard as I could with my guitar.
Hey, come on, forget that stuff.
I remember. Man, he was on his knees. I swung my guitar down on him like it was an axe. Hit him right in the back of the head. His face hit the stage, and he must have broken his nose or something because, man, it was a big pool of blood.
Come off that man. There was all kinds of stuff like that happening in those days.
You know, when they dragged him away, there was this long stream of blood that went all the way off stage. Do you remember that?
Why are you bringing that stuff up now?
I don't know. But I tell you one thing, he didn't do anything to deserve that. He just didn't. I wonder what happened to him. I mean, I wonder if he's all right.
Partner, forget about it. The statute of limitations ran out on that one long ago.
There is no statute of limitations when it comes to the law of karma, or so I read.
Karma. I did school the day they taught karma. But what the hell, you're starting fresh tonight. We both are.
I wonder.
Reynaldo's watch read 11:44 as he followed Junior Herrera through the crowd in the cemetery with macho walks that would have embarrassed John Wayne and Robert Mitchum. The youngsters parted before them like the Red Sea had parted before Moses. Moses had used the power of God, but Reynaldo and Junior were using the power of size and the don't mess with me face that they both put on just before entering the cemetery. Reynaldo checked the faces of the women in the crowd that had come costumeless, but he didn't see his sister, even though by now she had ample time to arrive from Santa Maria. Then Reynaldo saw Alan, standing near the speaker stand.
Look. There he is.
Want me to get him, boss?
No. Look, we can watch him from here. I don't give a shit about what he does, but keep an eye out for Consuelo in case she shows up. I don't want her around this guy tonight.
What do we do if she shows?
We just get her out of here as quickly and as quietly as possible.
Alan felt a gentle tap on his shoulder and turned to see Medusa's concerned face.
What are you doing here?
Well, I got a strange call.
Yeah? So, from who?
Maybe it was Shane. I think it was him, really him. And then I figured you'd be here.
And why would I be here?
To do what you said you would do? Do you know why you're here, I wonder?
I know exactly.
Well, I'm going to keep you from doing it.
Hey, get the hell out of here, Medusa. You can't stop me from doing what I need to do. Now get out before I push you out of here.
Oh, just make me just try.
1 minute before midnight, Connie breathlessly jogged past the cemetery gates. Seeing the crowd and checking her watch, she lost the hope of finding her lover in the sea of costume-wearing rock, horror, and Halloween fans. How do you find someone in a crowd this size who's probably wearing a costume or disguise? She asked herself. Then all the lights in the cemetery went out, with the exception of the green light on Shane's headstone and the jagged, leafless tree above it. Alan's body shook because the blackening of the light told him it was time to do or die. Or perhaps do and die, as he eyed the 20 rented cops lined up at the barrier. Cops with weapons. He turned his concentration on Shane's grave, with the Hollywood fog swirling around it, and waited. Waited and wondered what Medusa would try to do when he had his chance to get a shot off. At exactly 12 midnight, the crowd hushed. The short-lived silence was broken by the sound of thunder and lightning, which were matched by lightning effects that flashed behind Shane's marble stone. Then came Shane's voice, booming out over the loudspeakers.
I have returned from the other side.
Then the crowd, Reynaldo, Connie, and the MTV viewing audience took in the unfathomable image of Shane, moving up behind his headstone and continuing up until his feet were just above it. He then quietly floated, effortlessly in the air. The crowd was struck dumb, silent to a man. Alan's heart raced as he saw his intended target, his brother's killer. It was the end of the road for Alan, a road that had started months ago at the Hard Rock Hotel. Shane floated in the air, expressionless for the moment, and then outstretched his arms slightly from his sides, with his palms facing the crowd, unintentionally mirroring the famous image of Christ giving his sermon on the Mount. In Shane's mind, however, he was simply greeting the fans with a gentle gesture, as if saying, "Well, I'm back. Thanks for coming. Thanks for believing." Suddenly, Shane felt as if his chest had been struck by a bolt of lightning. There was no time for him to feel the pain of it, though, because everything went white. The impact of the rifle bullet slammed his body back on the wires, and then as that energy subsided, his body swung forward like a child on a playground swing. The next bullet hit him lower, in the stomach, causing Shane's dead body to jackknife in the air, as if he were being folded for a coffin that was too small for him. The third and final bullet hit his corpse in the shoulder, spinning in halfway around like Howdy Doody doing a double take at Dilly Dally. After Shane's spiritless shell recoiled and adjusted in the wire's original position, it hung there over the grave like a retired marionette hanging on his maker's wall, waiting in vain for the puppeteer to return and reanimate it. Alan stood petrified in a sea of transfixed faces, all of which were looking at the now gently swaying Shane. He finally managed the words,
"What am I doing here? What the hell am I doing here?"
Connie crossed herself, more as a protection than as a prayer for whoever was floating dead at the top of the grave-filled hill. Reynaldo turned and looked at his bodyguard, Junior.
My God, what the hell is going on here?
Somebody really messed him up, boss.
The silence of the cemetery was finally broken by a 17-year-old kid wearing a devil mask, yelling, "Right on! Out of sight, man!" assuming that he had just witnessed a special effects show, like the ones at Universal Studios. "Yeah, cool!" another youth yelled out. The rest of the crowd joined in, yelling, cheering, and whistling like a band of banshees. All except for Alan, who somehow believed the truth. Connie, who thought that Alan had carried out his plan. Reynaldo, who was happy that whatever happened his sister wasn't involved. And Junior, who didn't give a damn about anything but getting paid for tonight's bodyguard work. Everyone next saw Shane, with his head hanging limply, as if looking for a place to land, float down behind the gravestone from where he'd risen. And with that disappearance, Alan could feel the pain of his brother's death being lifted from his heart, even though the image of Jimmy's face was clear and smiling in his mind. And he could see the scales of justice balancing somewhere out there among the stars. The lights came on, helping the frenzied crowd to simmer down. Some, thinking the show was over, began to slowly turn and head out of the cemetery, while others started to mill around, talking to each other, savoring the show they'd just witnessed. 500 yards away, on a grassy-covered hill that overlooked the cemetery, a dark-suited, black-haired man quickly disassembled his rifle. He stashed it in his carrying case and retrieved the 3 ejected brass shells. After taking one last look down at the cemetery, admiring a job well done, Pete Taglalucci turned and headed down the dark side of the hill. Jessup's well-thought-out plan, though containing a large portion of risk, had been pulled off perfectly. So far. When the first bullet had hit Shane, the effects man had flinched slightly. But because he'd been forewarned by Jessup that something unusual would happen, he did not let go of the wires, leaving Shane hanging there to receive the other 2 rifle slugs. Then, on Jessup's command, Shane's body was lowered to the ground. The 2 effects men freaked out.
"Hey, this guy's dead. Somebody shot him. Get a cop up here."
Nah, he's okay. Those are just electric squibs with blood packs.
The hell it is. I didn't rig him for that.
He was rigged with squibs before he arrived here.
Are you kidding? He's not moving.
It's just special effects. This actor is alive. He's just faking it, as part of the show. And if you back me up on that, always, to anybody who may ask you, you'll both receive $1,000 a month. Cash. For life. However, if you attest to anything else, or talk to reporters, or tell your families, then there are forces out there, men out there, the same men that arranged this event, that will see to it that you quickly get a headstone of your own. So what's it to be, gentlemen? The cash, or your own grave in memory gardens?
Well,
the cash, of course.
I got a new Shane look-alike pulling up down below. And when he gets up here, I want you to cut some bullet holes in him that will match this guy's holes and blood. You did bring the fake blood, didn't you?
Yeah, sure, I got it here.
Good. Here comes our new guy. Hop to it.
Well, there you have it, MTV fans. They promised a show and they gave us one. Short but exciting. And if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I would not have believed that right here in Carson Cemetery, the late great Shane rose from his grave and was sent back to his great reward. Shane's agent promised to say a few words to us after the show, but as yet he hasn't made an appearance. There's been a spectator stand set up behind me, so maybe Carl Jessup did plan to say something. But perhaps that's been canceled now. I don't know.
Standing next to Alan, Medusa, still in shock, finally spoke.
Was that real? I mean, the bullets, it looked so real. too real?
I'm not sure. It also looked like a movie stunt to me, but, I can't figure it out. It happened so fast and so slow at the same time.
I guess I'll hear from Shane about it when I get home, if he calls. If it wasn't him, or if it was him and was faked.
Hey, mi hermano. Oh, God. Some night, huh?
Huh? What are you doing here, Reynaldo?
Just here to keep an eye on you. Say, how about slipping that piece under my jacket?
Yeah. I guess that's a good idea. Here.
Okay. I got it. Well, I guess it's time to go home, huh?
Yep. Yeah, it's about that time.
See you sometime?
Yeah, Reynaldo. Hey, and thanks.
On their way out, Reynaldo and Junior saw Connie. Standing by the gate, eyeing the people that were leaving, she was searching for Alan. Reynaldo went over to her. Junior stopped and held his ground, keeping an eye on his boss.
Hey, Consuelo. How are you doing?
Reynaldo, I didn't think you'd be here.
Just making sure that you're all right.
Where's Alan? Was Alan involved with what happened up here?
Hey, look, it was just a show. It's all over now. Anyway, it's best that he doesn't see you here. Now, why don't you let me walk you to your car, okay?
It's a long goddamn walk.
Things are winding down here now, so all that's left to say is Shane has left the cemetery. Thank you, and hold it. Wait a minute. Do you see what I see? Shane, though shot 3 times, has arisen from the dead for the 2nd time tonight and appears to be heading down the hill towards us with his agent, Carl Jessup. Maybe they'll make a statement. Let's hold on for a while.
As Jessup moved down the hill, the waiting reporters and MTV camera, which would have intimidated some, had just the opposite effect on him. They calmed him. Yes, they did. Because now Jessup was the star, not Shane, not the rock star that wanted to change his evil rock music into bullshit bubblegum love songs, who had sat on his ass on a beach for years, while Jessup did all the work by keeping Shane's music, both old and newly found, playing on the radio and selling in stores. Not that lazy prick Shane, who had reaped more than his fair share of the profits without hardly lifting a finger. Oh, sure, Shane had written the new material and had flown onto the mainland to record it over the years, but the everyday promoting was all Jessup's doing. And then Shane started making demands, telling his agent and benefactor what's going to be what. Bullshit on that. That's when Jessup turned everything topsy-turvy. Jessup topsy and Shane turvy. While Shane was recording his comeback album, Jessup searched for the best Shane imitator he could find. It took him a month and a half before Halloween. He found Frankie Rondo, aged 26, singing at small nightclubs. Rondo looked the part and sang the part. Here would be a more pliant Shane, a Shane that could be happy with any salary that Jessup had to offer. He would be a Shane with no past heat on him, statute of limitations or not. Here would be a Shane that could represent the new album and then record new material that Jessup could exploit. A new, improved, and younger Shane, whose earning power, though not as large as the originals, was young enough to continue years past the 51-year-old original. Jessup then had Pete Taglalucci do what was necessary. Jessup had found him years earlier via his mob connections to take care of various questionable jobs, whether it was intimidating promoters, piloting a boat on a secretive job, or rubbing out a liability. This was the first time Jessup had gone that far, but he knew it was necessary. Now, as Jessup and Frankie Rondo approached the speaker's stand, there was no applause. Just noisy curiosity from the remaining fans in the cemetery, knowing that whatever these two might say would be anticlimactic to this night's bloodletting. As Alan and Medusa watched with the rest of the die-hard fans, Jessup adjusted the mic and began his much-prepared speech.
Well, happy Halloween to everyone. I hope you liked our little show tonight. It was a sort of macabre tribute to our Shane, whom I loved and worked with in the early years. And if he hadn't been taken from us so suddenly at Lake Tahoe, I know that we'd still be working together. Some here tonight might think our show was a little too bizarre or in bad taste even for Halloween, but I can guarantee you that if Shane was watching from heaven, he approved. And probably he got a great kick out of our little homage to him. And now, ladies and gentlemen, rock fans everywhere, I want to introduce to you Shane 2. That's as in numeral 2. Shane 2 will pick up the torch that Shane 1 dropped so many years ago. Shane 2 has a new album coming out soon, at a concert date here in LA on December the 5th at the Greek Theater. We hope to see you all there to experience the wonder and mystery of Shane. Come hear the old songs and the new and celebrate the birth of Shane 2.
With this, Jessup and Frankie Rondo in the character of Shane 2 turned their backs to a barrage of questions from the media and headed back up the hill toward the empty grave of Shane 1. They would then proceed down the backside to the waiting limo and be driven out of the cemetery. Alan, his head still buzzing with the confusion of this evening's events, mixed with the relief of not killing anyone, stood transfixed in the crowd with Medusa standing next to him. They both watched the two men ascend the hill and then disappear down the other side. Alan asked himself, was what happened on the hill at midnight just a show, as Jessup had announced? Was Shane really here tonight? Or was Reynaldo's information all lies, just to extort money and favors out of me? It was all too much for Alan to fathom. At least for now it was. Better stop thinking about it, he told himself. Better call it a night. Alan turned his back on Shane's grave and headed for the gate, with Medusa following him, and finally finding her voice.
Oh man, this is bullshit. It's all Jessup's bullshit. That was Shane up there, the real Shane. Alan, he's been killed.
We don't know that.
I do.
You don't know it for sure?
It was Shane. It was him for sure. You came to kill him, so you know it was him.
Hey, you know, it could have been just an actor like last year. In fact, it probably was.
You have to believe me. Shane called me tonight. He said he'd be here. He said that Jessup set up this gig. If you believe me about that, then you have to know that it was Shane up there. And it wasn't a stunt. It was real. You must know that deep inside.
I guess maybe so. Maybe it was him. And if he's been killed for whatever reason, I mean, anyone saying it or trying to prove it, well, they'll be in danger.
It was that goddamn Jessup. It was him. He had Shane killed. Killed him for money. Control of Shane's recording income.
I just know I gotta get out of this cemetery.
So, what do you want to do? I mean, where are you going?
Just out of this place.
It's late. and a long drive back to Santa Maria. Do you want to come to my place?
No, I can't. I'm sorry, I can't anymore. Everything's over. It's all over.
Medusa nodded her head, touched Alan's arm, and gave him a quick good luck smile. She changed her direction slightly, and as they walked, was soon lost in the crowd and the darkness. At 4:30 that morning, Connie Torres was awakened by her doorbell. Throwing on a bathrobe, she went to the door and peered through the peephole. Though it was long past trick-or-treat time, she saw yet another visitor. Deciding to keep her questions at bay, she opened the door and greeted Alan with an understanding half-smile. He tried to return it, but couldn't. Not wanting to be the first one to break the silence, Connie motioned Alan inside with a slight head movement. After showering, Alan, his hatred for Shane now unclenched, entered the bedroom naked and fell gratefully into bed. It took nearly an hour for them to fall asleep. Lying awake, next to each other, there was no intercourse, verbal, sexual, or tactile whatsoever. That would come in the morning. It was around that same hour that Pete Taglalucci piloted his speedboat a mile off the San Pedro shoreline. He put the boat into neutral and gently put Shane's chain-weighted body overboard. It sank quickly. Taglalucci gave a slight farewell wave of his hand to where Shane's body had entered the water. He then went back to the controls and turned for home. Underwater, as Shane's physical body sank, his ethereal body moved toward a curious light, guiding him forward. When things cleared up well enough to see, Shane found himself walking up to a white-colored Southern-style mansion. People of all ages were lined up to enter it. They seemed to take no notice of the pink Cadillac and the driver parked in the driveway. But Shane recognized the driver right away.
Hey, Elvis. What are you doing here?
I came here to greet you. That's what I'm doing here. Besides, I used to live here. It's always good to see the fans enjoying Graceland.
Is this your job? To take people to the next place?
Nah, man, I just do it as often as I can. And what with you and me both being rock singers, they figured you'd be more relaxed with me.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it. You know, I missed your show in Las Vegas, so it's good to see you now. But I can't say I'm relaxed exactly. I'm worried about what'll happen next.
Don't sweat it, Shane. Everything's cool.
Man, I don't think so, Elvis. Everything went black in that cemetery, and the next thing I know, I was swimming out of my body and ended up in this place. Oh, brother. Now I can see how I really messed things up for myself.
It's okay, Shane. You'll get another chance to go back and try it again after you spend some time out there.
Yeah? What am I going to be doing out there?
Anything you want. It's the same there as here. It's whatever you make it. Same rules apply. Energy out, energy back.
You mean karma? Paying back the bad that I did?
Eventually. There are many ways to do it. And you did some good too, and don't forget that.
So we're really going to come back here?
Yeah, in another body.
So, what's in store for me first?
Well, some of the guys are putting on a concert tonight. Buddy, Roy, Ricky, except now he likes to be called Rick.
You mean there really is a rock and roll heaven?
Like I said, man, same here as it is there. So what do you say, Billy? Hop into my mama's pink caddy and let's take that drive now.
Carl Jessup was in his office, taking care of last-minute details for the upcoming Shane 2 tour. This was the beginning of the 5th week since the Halloween cemetery gig, as Jessup referred to it, and there had been no repercussions. On the contrary, there had only been benefits. The biggest benefit of all, of course, was that now with Shane killed and neatly dumped in the ocean, there would be no more hassles concerning the Shane money-making machine. And now Jessup did not have to split the money with his comeback crazy, change the music, tell the truth, book-writing, aging rock star. Of course, there'd be a few salaries, large and small, to be paid. Salaries to the hitman, the 2 special effects men, and continuing payments to some policemen in Lake Tahoe, as well as a coroner and a mortician there that had supplied a suitable body. But it was worth the money to keep his conspirators, both the willing and the ones caught up in it, silent. Shane, too, Frankie Rondo, knew nothing of what had gone on before his introduction that Halloween night. All he knew was that he was being given a chance at the brass ring, and he was grabbing it with both hands and his mouth shut. Jessup, however, didn't need the brass ring because he already had the world on a string and he knew it. Even the possible troublemaking Medusa was now dancing to Jessup's tune and making the most of the situation by rehearsing with Shane 2 for the upcoming tour. She wouldn't be much of a draw, but she would be a curiosity for the fans, making the show a little better. Today, after making some phone calls, Jessup paused to take a look around his plush office, taking in the wonder of his position. Then the secretary buzzed.
Yeah?
There's a Mr. Robertson from the law firm of Tedesco, Robertson, and Dunn on the line.
Who's he?
I don't know. We never dealt with him.
Well, what's he want?
Want me to ask?
No, just put him through. Carl Jessup here.
Ah, yes. This is Lawrence Robertson from the law firm that is handling Mr. Shane's affairs.
Are you kidding? What, that young punk Rondo went out and got a lawyer? What's his beef?
I think you're confused, Mr. Jessup.
Confused. Well, then, perhaps you can set me straight. Perhaps you can clear the goddamn air for me, Mr. Robertson.
Well, yes, our client is not your Mr. Shane 2, but our Mr. Shane, the original.
What? He's dead.
Ah, perhaps. But anyway, he's at least missing.
What? He drowned in Lake Tahoe.
Missing long enough for us to put his requests into action.
Shane's been dead for 20 years.
Not hardly, Mr. Jessup. Our Mr. Shane was in our office just over 2 months ago and arranged for us to represent him, and in case of his death or disappearance, to execute his last will and testament.
His last will?
Yes, and though there are some minor things for us to take care of, the main thrust of the will is that Mr. Shane's 50% of the music royalties generated by your company shall be divided equally between one Miss Medusa, also known as Cindy Benson, and Ms. Lonnie Silva, living in Hawaii.
Look, man, if you aren't putting me on, then someone is pulling the wool over your eyes. Your Mr. Shane, or my Mr. Shane, or whoever the hell goddamn Mr. Shane has been dead, is dead, and will stay dead. So don't give me any of this BS.
Mr. Jessup, we have notarized proof that our Mr. Shane, the original Shane, birth-named William Douglas, was here. He gave us his birth certificate, fingerprints, and signature, which I'm sure the FBI could identify and confirm. Plus, we videotaped Mr. Shane's request. As a matter of fact, I'm looking at it right now. Would you like to see it?
I don't think so.
We also have his new will, signed and witnessed, as well as account numbers for his banks under his new pseudonym. So there's no question of authenticity. The only question is, will you freely abide by his last requests as to the dispersal of his share of the profits?
Goddamn son of a bitch.
I don't think that you want us to have to prove that this will is genuine and valid and arranged by the genuine Shane. Because even though we could prove it in court, I don't think you want to get too close to a judge's gavel. You see, we here at the office believe that, well, perhaps what happened at the Carson Cemetery on Halloween was, well, should I say, the real thing? Because Mr. Shane has not been in contact with us since then. And, well, it did look rather convincing. Your show, that is.
Jesus, you goddamn cutthroats.
Look, Mr. Jessup, we don't care who killed Shane or who'll get rich because of it. All we want is that Mr. Shane's will be executed according to his wishes. And for you to give us 5%, from your side, of course, as a continuing fee for us to audit your books quarterly, to make sure that, well, to make sure that everything is right with everybody.
You mothers.
5%'s not so bad, Mr. Jessup. It beats running the risk of a trial, certain incarceration, and possible lethal injection.
I think you're giving me an injection right now.
Come again?
Right on my butt. Christ, that only leaves me 45%. That's less than I was getting before...
Before what?
Nothing. Nothing.
Well, we'll be sending our auditor over this week to take a look at your books and set up auditing and payment procedures.
Right.
We look forward to a prosperous relationship with your company and ours.
Right.
Talk to you later, Mr. Jessup.
The click on the other end of the line left Jessup alone in his power-designed office, bent over his desk, awaiting the auditor's pen. The only thing that sustained him at this moment of financial defeat was that at least he had gotten rid of Shane and his interference, had gotten away with murder. Of course, Jessup didn't realize that the laws of karma were a real and always active phenomena. They were not just some 60s San Francisco hippies jive talk to get some flower child chick into bed. But he would learn it eventually. Perhaps from Elvis. Or even from Shane himself. 3 years later, Alan was sitting on the beach. It was just a 20-minute drive from Santa Maria. He had an oldies station playing on his portable radio next to him. The surf and the surfer song calmed him. He was sitting on a large towel, watching Connie and his 3-year-old daughter making a sandcastle down near the waves. Alan turned down the music, picked up his tape recorder, took a deep breath, and hit the record button.
More than 3 years have passed since that Halloween night. It's been 2 years since I picked up my recorder to dictate my diary, memoirs, novel. A novel that I'll never let see the light of day. See, I gotta protect my wife and daughter. As far as my hatred for Shane goes, I try not to think of him much. Whatever evil Shane did in his life, it's had its way with him. Either at Lake Tahoe, as everyone still believes, or at the cemetery, as Medusa and I believe. I talked with Medusa over the phone only once since that Halloween night. She was smart and kept her mouth shut, about what she thought about happened here. She even went on the road with that Shane 2 singer to make some money, that's all. I hope it helped her. I also believe that my brother Jimmy's in a good place now, and whatever I did or tried to do has made me a better person. I hope.
Alan hit the stop button to return away from his little girl, who was smiling as she worked with Connie on the castle. Alan turned up the sound on his portable radio. The surfer song was just ending, and then the DJ's voice came on.
Next up, a great oldie. What Have I Got on My Own, sung by Trini Lopez.
Alan snapped off the radio, but inside his head echoed,
Trini Lopez. Trini Lopez.
and then came Gilbert Ortega's pleading voice.
Don't tell her it was like this.
Alan put his head in his hands and tried to shake off the image of that motel in Laredo. A year later, Medusa was sitting in her apartment on a rainy evening. She had just clicked off the TV when there was a knock at the door. That night at the cemetery and what Jessup might have done hadn't exactly made Medusa paranoid. But even though it was 4 years ago, sometimes when she went to the door or saw a strange man walking past her on the street, it gave her the chills. Still, she went to the door, made sure the safety chain was in place, and opened it a crack.
Yes, can I help you?
Yes. Are you Cindy Benson?
Well, yes. But I go by my stage name usually. It's Medusa.
Oh, yeah. Well, I wanted
Look,
to...
honey, if you're selling something...
Oh, no. It's just that I don't know where to begin. You see, there's a law that says I have a right to look at my adoption papers. And so I got your name off of them and traced you here.
Oh, my God. Baby?
Mom?
4.5 years after the Carson Cemetery Halloween incident, a baby boy was born to a couple living in Fort Wayne, Indiana. For the first 6 weeks of its life, the baby remembered where he'd come from, what he had done on his previous visit to the Earth dimension, and what this life's mission was. But one day, as all babies do, he fell into an extra deep sleep, and all memory was erased. He woke up later that day with his mind clean and fresh, with no recollection whatsoever of what had happened before this incarnation, or how his past life had ended in a cemetery on Halloween. However deep, very deep, in his subconscious mind were words. Special words. Words that had the potential, if properly amplified by desire, to one day express themselves in music. Rock music.
That's what I call you. I look into your eyes and I see paradise.
This has been a Ronin audiobook presentation. Narrated by Rod Taylor. Performed by Russ Tamblyn, Robert Culp, James Darren, Ishtor Avana, Nefa Perry, and George Chakiris as Reynaldo. With special appearances by Kevin McCarthy, Barbara Lee, and H.M. Wynant. Executive producer Linda Kay. Recorded and mixed by Gary Zacuto at Shoreline Studios in Santa Monica, California. Produced by Larry Metzger. Written and directed by Paul Kyriazi.